All right, welcome back to the party, everybody. This is Morty, and I am your host, Lutch, aka the Indian Jesus, here to resurrect the second coming of common sense. Everybody hit that like and subscribe. You know I would do it for you, and let's party. Big shout out to the replay gang. Thank you so much for coming back to watch this, even though you missed the live party, guys. That is the best part, so make sure you are here every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, and sometimes whenever I feel like it. So hit that subscribe, ring the bell, and you will never miss an Indian Jesus live party ever again. Let's also say thank you to my6shirt.com, the only place to get your very own The Indian Jesus official merch. Babies need clothing as well. Got a bunch of stuff and new designs coming soon at my6shirt.com. All right. So I'm excited about this one. You may have heard recently that Michael Rapaport, he is, mainly he's a comic, but he's mainly known for his sports takes. A super liberal, typical New York liberal dude, and was a never Trumper all the way up until very, very recently. And luckily we have him on the PBD podcast, and just getting into the mindset of somebody who was not only a never Trumper, because you guys know I was a never Trumper in the beginning, but up until like just recently. What is that? What is that like to go from hating this person to realizing, oh, I think I was lied to a little bit. I think that's going to be very interesting. Shout out to Zippy the Strange. Welcome to the party. As always, guys, if you cannot hear the video, please do let me know. Yep. No video. All right. Thank you. Let's try that one more time. Share audio. All right. Let's try.
I think I've learned more about.
What is that?
I'm not.
Shout out to Guam Tech. Welcome to the party. We also got Soil to Soul. Welcome to the party, everybody. All right, I just tried this again. Let me see if we can
change in the last 7 years.
Good now. All right, beautiful. And so yeah, he was basically just saying that he's learned a lot over the last 7 years, and the question specifically was, how much have you changed in the last 7 years? Because he was a never Trumper. But I think a better question would have been, how much have you changed in the last year? Because as a never Trumper, I've changed a lot over the last 7 years. But in the last 2 weeks, in the last year, not so much. It's the recency. But welcome to the party, everybody. Thank you again. Let's dive back in here.
Changed. I think I've learned more about. I know I have.
Okay.
Honestly, I didn't care, speak, or pay much attention to politics up until the Republican convention, the Republican debates, and then the debate with Hillary and Trump.
Yeah, I'd say same. Before that, I didn't really see a reason to pay a close attention. And once that was happening, I mean, I was a little bit earlier to it. It's not just the debates, but as Trump was coming on the scene, and people were being quote unquote awakened that, oh my goodness, this horrible thing is happening, and we have to start paying attention to politics. Otherwise, Trump is gonna end the world. Hey, shout out to Indie Film. Welcome to the party. Good to see you, brother.
Totally honest with you. So since that time, I've learned a lot. And, I have I think a clear point of view on the game. I have a clear point of view on politicians. I have a clear point of view on where I stand, as you get older, your money becomes more important to you, your tax.
See, and that's exactly what I was saying, is that for a long time, I wasn't very confident on where I was politically because of the fact that I saw that I was lied to. And it would make a little bit more sense to me that if he's saying, I've just realized, all these lies about Trump, and I don't know specifically what the big thing that turned him was, but if you were so sure that Trump was a horrible person, and now you realize that maybe it's not that simple, maybe you don't have a handle on your politics. Politics said, "God damn, I love PBD reactions. He's always a great case study for sales and ethical conversation manipulation." There you go.
To become more important to you. And I think for me, learning and going through and understanding first initially politics through social media and then politics in real life and educating myself.
Not the same thing.
I have my point of view on things have changed. I'll just jump right to it because I know you want to get to it. My point of view on Trump, and I want to ask you this because I know you're you consider yourself right now a Trump guy.
I'm a center right guy.
But right now.
Oh, there's no question about it.
I said, hell yeah, Trump train.
So the thing is, for me, like, you handle yourself in such a classy way, and people are like, Pat, you should run for president. Pat, you'd be a great president. And, you've accomplished and you're so successful. And, the way everybody, in your office, sort of presents himself, and it's a classy place, and it's, from the head down, I would imagine. The thing about Trump that's the hardest, amongst other things, the hardest for me and a lot of people to get past, along with the list, but the top, is the way he conducts himself.
The mean words. 8-9 years later, and it's still about mean words. And I get it. I was there. But at what point do you say, okay, mean words are bad, but all of this other stuff is worse? Because that's the path that if you're not paying attention to politics, you start paying attention, you see this guy saying mean things, you're like, oh, well, I don't like that. All these other guys seem to be nice and whatever. So you'd be like, okay, I don't like the mean guy. But then as you start learning, you realize, oh, they're all mean. None of them are nice. This guy is just upfront about it.
As a president. And some people say, well, Mike Rapp, you talk shit. I'm not the president of the United States.
Totally.
And the insulting people, I don't know a thing about McCain. I don't know anything about his politics, but I know he served this country and he was went through what he went through. For somebody like Trump, who is a draft dodger, is somebody like Trump to insult him and give him a nickname and say he prefers his war heroes not to be captured, to me
that was definitely a bad line. That I prefer soldiers who are not captured. That was a bad line. I'm certainly not going to stand behind that. But again, it's this idea of a draft. Would any of you who are not already signed up with the armed forces volunteer to go and fight a war? This is a, and there's a whole thing with Gen Z on TikTok, and they're like, oh, you think you're going to get us drafted? Like, I get that that's a good zinger, but that doesn't really mean anything. The fact that you don't want to go fight a war does not make me think that you are not a good president. Now, if you have fought a war, then that might make me think that you could be better, but not wanting to fight a war, like you personally, that really doesn't mean anything to me. So the Soul said, I wonder how many of these people who hate Trump's mean demeanor actually do real business or pay others to do it for them. So they live in a fake nice bubble or some shit and think it's real. Yeah, you never know. I mean, if you're not used to the fact that people are wheeling and dealing in all industries and everything, then it might be stark to see that. But like, yeah, that's what it is. Quantic said, I really can't wait to see where Michael goes after this. He's got a perfect point of view to help the other Never Trumpers understand why he's a solid pick outside of his massive ego. Bingo. And that's exactly why I wanted to cover this. Destiny and Ian just did a debate, and I definitely think it's worth watching. But again, it was one of those things where I didn't have too much to add. But watching this, I was like, oh, this is perfect. Because again, there's people like me who are Never Trumpers, and then once started paying attention, realized, oh, okay, that's stupid. And then there's people who just have had TDS all the way along. It's not as frequent that you see people within the last year or so getting red pilled. And so I think you're spot on, Quantic. Spot on.
The antithesis, and that's a big word. I'm using it just because I'm here with you, Pat. That's a big word for me. That's the antithesis of anything presidential. And I'm a shit talker and all that stuff. But the nicknames and the disrespect for the fact that you're the president time after again.
And again, even right now, when you're saying this, if you've had some sort of realization that, oh, Trump's not that bad, then where is the realization that, oh, these people deserve to be criticized? These are not good people. These people deserve that criticism. I'll stick to that. Destiny debate with Ian was way too cordial for my taste. Yeah, I think it was interesting, but again, you've got Ian who's just a little too out there, and Destiny who's a little too debate me, bro. And they again, it was interesting, but there wasn't really a lot of space for me. Yeah, I can't hate Ian. We love Ian. And of course, Ian has been on the channel. If you have not seen my interview with Ian, please definitely go check that out.
To me, is the thing that's hardest for me to get by, because it's representative of everything in this country. He's the representative of us in the country. I know also his bark is bigger than his bite, but being the president, that's an extremely loud bark.
Right. But again, isn't that specifically what, as a typical New Yorker, wouldn't that be what you want? Is somebody that has an extremely loud bark? That's the part I don't understand. And it's just the media programming that this is not presidential. This is not presidential. This is not presidential. When it's just like that, they made that up.
His bark is bigger than his bite.
I think he says a lot more than he does. I think his policies warrant a lot of his policies that he did while he was in office. I like. I think he did do things that were good for the country. But
so I said about the Tucker Putin interview. I was going to cover it, and I made a decision not to. But I agree. Definitely worth watching. I think it was very interesting, but it was pretty much straight up. It was just Vladimir Putin talking about what he thinks is going on with Russia. And again, I think that's interesting, but there wasn't really, just like with the Ian thing, there's not really much space for me to jump in and for us to discuss anything about it. So I said, I want a loud bark and a harder bite. I think Trump was good at both. I agree. I
like. I think he did do things that were good for the country, but the spillage, the messiness, the antagonistic behavior, towards anybody, whether they worked with him or not.
You're missing the point. Right over your head. It's not the fact that it was antagonistic. It was the fact that it's always been antagonistic, and he was just the one to shine the sunlight on it.
But the people that worked with him, once he feels betrayed, once he feels insulted, to just attack, insult.
And again, this is how politics works. It's just that they don't do it openly. They'll say that, they'll release an article about this, that, or the other, or, your job will be in danger, or, if you're on Epstein Island, they'll say, we'll release this. That's just what politics is. And again, it's just Trump was the first one to put it out there.
In the most disrespectful, embarrassing way, is just, to me, is not acceptable as a president. To me.
And so
and again, that's an opinion that I held at a time, but just because somebody told me that that's what I should think about a president.
Then that means you're a Biden guy.
That doesn't mean anything.
So then would you still vote for him? Would you still vote for Trump?
No. Well, I didn't vote for Trump. You mean would I still vote for Biden?
2024, would you vote for Trump this year? Would you consider it?
Yeah. Well, I said the other day that voting for Donald Trump is on the table.
I saw
mean that.
Yeah, yeah. And by the way, 50 Cent said that with the whole $53 million credit card, New York, Mayor Adams, what they're doing, all the immigrants. But let me
It is on the table.
Big Mike, everybody's saying it. Everybody's changing.
Then you think Killer Mike or
Killer Mike?
Big
Killer
Mike?
Mike.
So let me
Yeah, exactly what I'm saying. It's about winning the deal before you get to the table, right? The art of the deal. You have to you have to win before you even get to the table. That's a good point. That his power level resided in his ability to use his accumulated bones to trade with the other dogs. And, might we say a more above board style, but similar to what Epstein was doing, in the sense that he was creating that social capital, that I have this. Now, of course, he was doing it in a very, 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 very bad way, but it was very effective. And Trump was doing the same thing for a good purpose. So he said the message is also a lie. So might as well be real. Look at Obama. All smoke and mirrors, civilians bombed by drones. Trump does mean tweets 24/7 and he's bad. Yeah, it's like, again, what are we talking about?
Let me kind of give you
So I want to hear your
Yeah, perfect. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about specifically with that. So for me,
I said voting for pig dick Donald Trump.
Yeah, I know.
And I love that when they put it up there, they refer to him in the nickname I gave it.
But why?
I don't know why, but that's funny.
Tell me about is this after watching a Jimmy Kimmel deal, or is that just your nickname?
I created that nickname.
That's your
I
nickname.
patented it.
Okay,
and
got it.
maybe you could help me check the patent. Pig dick Donald Trump, dick stain Donald Trump. I have the patent on that. So if you use it on,
That's the one I remember him from the videos where he would, just be on the street. Dick stain Donald Trump, you're the worst thing ever. That one I remember.
Unfortunately, I will have to sue you.
I understand. I respect.
What was the inspiration for the pig dick?
Sometimes stroke of genius.
Yeah, a stroke. Nice one.
A stroke of genius just comes down.
What do you stroke comes down?
It's just
a lot of double entendres
So
going on. Here.
there's nothing specific to it. You're just kind of it's a name you gave with no meaning behind it.
Do you think like you say like Dr. J, Air Jordan,
Yeah.
the Mamba,
Yeah.
Pig Dick Donald Trump? It just fits.
It was funny. Now that you've stayed on it for so long, not so much anymore.
Patrick, it fits.
Here's what's funny about it.
It fits.
Even
and
though
I see it in your face because I know you have a good sense of humor. You can't even make eye contact
listen,
with me because it fits.
Are you kidding me? I'm all about sense of humor. I love being entertained, and I love the funny stories. But it's funny you're saying that, but you're saying you're still open to the idea. So let me give you
I am.
I know. Let me give you my rebuttal on those things.
Please do.
So for me, having been I'm
sales
45 years old.
techniques.
Okay. Having been in business for 20 some years and working with different personalities, what I valued when I was first recruiting in 24, 25 is very different when I was 30 after I wasted my time with a lot of people than what I valued at 35, 40, and then today, right? Today is a complete different story. Then here's the other part that I learned. I learned recruiting a salesperson. Yesterday, one of the client CEOs I'm consulting for asked me a question on what kind of salespeople should I recruit. I said, look, it depends on what product you're selling. Meaning, if you're selling a $100 product, you can't bring a guy that's suited up because you're going to intimidate the customer that's buying a $100 product. It's not a big product. But if you're selling a product that's $1 million product, it's a different language versus if you're selling a $20 million house in Miami or Coral Gables or Palm Beach, it's a different salesperson. So the same salesperson can fail selling this product, but succeed selling this product. Ideally, in a perfect world, you would say, I want somebody who is this. I want somebody who is eloquent. I want somebody who talks like this and all these things. Many times you would get a new guy that comes in with a phenomenal resume, looks good. Everything looks good. Then put him in the ring, have him get to work. Guess what? Nothing gets done, right? Back in the days, there was a book I read called Lincoln on Leadership by Donald T. Phillips. Rob, if you want to pull it up. I think Law 13.
That was a long anecdote.
In this book, he talks about just type in search until you find your grant. Okay, search until you find your grant. I don't think I've told this story on the pod.
So I specifically Guantech. I'm curious what you think about this, because that's not the only time that PBD does that, and we've seen how he, especially with Bill Maher, how he can use these rhetorical tactics, these sales tactics, to kind of move the conversation in the way that he wants to. But he does often kind of do what he just did, tell this long, winding anecdote that didn't really go anywhere. And I'm wondering if there's something specific with that, where he's trying to prime whatever's coming up, or am I just reading too much into it? I don't know. Where are we at? Obama can get you a house. It's on the government dime, comrade. Yep.
Search until you find your grant. In this book right there, the last chapter, I think it's chapter 13. He says, search until you find your grant. Which one is it, Rob? 11 or 13? It's one of the two. Go up one. Right? Go up one.
Keep searching.
Keep searching until you find your grant, okay? So he tells the story. The war is going on, north and south. All these things are going on. He hires this guy who's the most trained person in the military. He promotes him to go and win the war. His name is McClellan, okay? He brings him in, and he says, this is our guy. You know what McClellan does all day long with his soldiers? Keeps training them, training them. Every day, report to Lincoln, report to Lincoln, report to Lincoln. He brings, after 10 layers of generals he changed, nobody had the balls to go to war except for one guy. He finally finds this guy named Ulysses S. Grant. He comes in, and he says, hey, we got to go win the war. He says, say no more. This guy's a drunk. He's an alcoholic. He's a mess. He drinks late at night at bars, an absolute crazy man. He can never get a hold of him. Lincoln was always pissed off because Grant would never call him. But guess what ended up happening? He won the war. Mm-hmm. Do you really give a shit if the guy that won the war is an alcoholic? No, you don't. So that's the argument. Nope. Now, somebody could...
And so, again, long tail to be like, okay, yes, maybe Ulysses S. Grant was a drunk, but he won the Civil War. Trump is not the ideal person. That doesn't mean he can't win the war.
Say, in today's world, you know who Ulysses S. Grant would have been? Oh, my God. Look at this irresponsible, this, that. No. You won the war. You're safe. Be quiet. Go home and send him a thank you letter instead of all this trashing that you're doing with him. And FYI, he becomes a two-term president afterwards, after Trump. So let's go through some of your list.
So it says, yeah, it's easy to get long-winded with your stories to sell something, but PBD is a professional. He's going somewhere with it. Yeah. And go-to in sales, never tell a story without a point. Never have a point without a story. Interesting. So that's going to be something that I have to break down and see, because I really don't feel like all of that helped to punctuate the point that, sometimes the guy who is not the ideal person is the best person for the job. I don't know. But interesting.
He becomes a two-term president afterwards, after Trump. So let's go through some of your list. Draft dodger. At this point, that was a big point in the 80s to say that. No one gives a shit today. Everybody running today is a draft dodger, okay? So that quality on talking shit to the other side, it's irrelevant today. It's a good one for 80s, not for 2024.
But you served, right?
I served. McCain served. I'm a guy that I want the guy serving, but it's a different era today.
But I'm
right, and that's what I was saying before, is that being not wanting to go to war is not necessarily a negative, even though having been to war and having served is still a positive.
Just saying, in terms of you as somebody who served. Just specifically that. I know that had to be like, you're like, what is that?
For sure.
It's
by the way, for sure, with the fact that not even serving is a bigger issue for me, not the draft dodging stuff. The draft dodging stuff, you got a rich dad. What are you going to do for your kid? Maybe it's going to be a different situation. You're not going to know it if your dad's got money, and maybe you're going to be like, what am I doing going over here? And the dad gets you to get out. Those are some of the benefits that comes with the last name.
I get it.
Whether your son or your...
It's a good point. Shout out to Mike W. in the building. Welcome to the party. Said most of the conservatives I know are not in love with Trump. They want him because he's effective. Yes. And this is, again, why, I wanted to do that stream with David to kind of show that this is most of us. Most of us are not, looking to kiss Donald Trump's feet. We just want anything that's going to shut down the left-wing craziness. One text said, if he just came out with the point immediately, it wouldn't have been the emotional impact to react to. It can be easily looked over. Stories elicit emotion. Emotions sell, not information. All right.
Your kids are going to have a different way they use the last name than you
100%.
did, right? Because you built the last name.
100%.
Right? So Trump didn't build the last name. Fred built the last name. There was a lot of
Freddie.
benefits to the last name. And then obviously Trump takes it to the next level.
And then the McCain thing.
McCain, let's go to the
attached
McCain.
that,
So McCain, I don't like that comment. I just tell you straight up, I don't like that comment. Why even say
I said, shit, me too. And I did say shit, me too, at the time. That's a bad line. I like guys who win. Like, yeah, I mean, me too, but that's disrespectful as hell, bro.
You don't have to say that. Why would you say that? He served, put his life, on the line, prisoner of war. He went, whether there's credibility behind it or he marketed it or whatever. It's not something that I sit there and say, yeah, I'm totally with him. I'm not that guy. I actually wasn't for that. And I openly talked about, you don't have.
I like people who weren't captured. It is funny. It is funny. At the time, I was not able to see the humor, and not the humor in the sense that Trump was joking, but the humor at the situation. That like, this is a real headline from the president of the United States at the time. And I mean, what world are we living in?
Have to say that. So Ulysses at New York. For the longest time in U.S., they used to talk about the fact that America can't handle a New York president because you're New York. Look how loud you are. He's New York. You know what feedback Tom gave to him 2 days ago? We don't always have to be loud.
What do you mean?
Tom's not from New York.
He made a note today, Mike. He's like, "You be calm." You tell me, what the fuck? What do you mean?
Tom is a very
Canada.
different life. But guess what New York is? Loud, tough, competitive, calling out. So America got a New York president because that's who they wanted.
Young.
And then what's the last one that you said? Bigger than bite. Here's what I will tell you.
What did I say? What?
His bite. Bark is bigger than his
bark
bite.
is bigger than his bite. So the thing with Trump too, when I was with Bill Maher, and I'm asking this question, and this whole idea, oh my God, this guy's going to get elected. And let me tell you what he's going to be doing. If he gets elected, it's going to be World War III. Do you want that man to have access to the, the nuclear button and all this other stuff? Bro.
He already did.
You talking about just with Bill Maher?
Yeah, I was with Bill Maher last week,
Right, okay.
and we're having this conversation.
Yeah.
And we did cover that, guys. So if you did not check that out, I thought it was an amazing conversation to be able to break down for very similar reasons. That this is an interesting conversation to break down, not just because of what they're saying, but what else is going on.
And I said in 2016, all the left ever said is the fact that this guy's going to start a nuclear war. That's what he's going to do. Guess what happened? He goes. There's no war. ISIS disappears. The last time you said ISIS was under Obama. We haven't said ISIS for a while. So economy's doing great. Everything's great. Then we have COVID 2.5 years later. Then they blame it all on him. He creates Operation Warp Speed. Kamala Harris and those guys said they would never take the vaccine while Trump.
Never forget that. Never forget that. I think it was Hillary Clinton as well, but definitely Kamala Harris and Joe Biden were saying, well, I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to take this. And then fast forward a few months, and we're all getting demonized for vaccine hesitancy. You can't make this shit up.
Come on, man.
Trump was coming out with it. But guess what those pharmaceutical companies did? You know when the vaccine comes out? 2 days after the election. So if it would have come out before, Trump probably would have had a chance of winning, but it comes out 2 days after. Why? You don't think somebody behind closed doors said come out 2 days after the election?
100%.
And that's such a great example of the type of conspiracy that, people on the left will just, oh, that's a conspiracy. You're being conspiratorial. This, conspiracy that. It's like, okay, yes, I am. But am I wrong? I don't know. Zippy said, Trump is silly like Zippy. Only a few more brain cells. The way Trump talks sometimes, it's like he has Tourette's and automatically says things. You ain't wrong. You ain't wrong, brother.
100% they did. So the gamesmanship of how much they hated this guy because he's a shit talker. He talks so much shit. It's constant, but that's him. That's his profile. You are not going to change him. You're 53. You said you're going to be 54 in March, right? So March 20, you're going to be 54. Okay. So how much do you think somebody can change you today at this phase of your life with your personality?
Shifts.
Okay.
You could bend a little bit.
Subtle, bro. And that's not going to be that dramatic, right? It's going to be subtle. If somebody was going to do anything to us, maybe at 11, maybe 15, maybe 18, no one's going to change Trump. So all of those things of people that used to ask and said, if only he could be like this, let me just simplify it for you. He's not going to
Absolutely not.
be, period. But if you like no war, if you like a great economy, if you like unemployment that was low for African Americans, they're making more money than ever before. If you want data and all that stuff was good, then great, go this side.
That's the bottom line. That's the bottom line. Is that yes, we saw the mean tweets, we saw the brash language, and some of us, myself included, were affected by that. So what? So what? It's 4 years later, and well, I mean, more than 4 years later, and we understand the context of, okay, how much badness is that? How much is that in relevance to the other badness? Whatever badness you want to talk about, how much is it comparatively? And relatively, it's not a big deal.
If you want a messy world that we have right now, Russia, Ukraine, where we're given another they're calling it a border bill.
Bullshit.
Out of $118 billion, $60 billion to Ukraine.
Yeah.
Don't call it a border bill. He would have actually addressed those things.
Yep.
That's simple it is for me. But by the way, never spoken to him. I've never met him. I've never broke bread. I don't
Never
have
met him at all.
I've seen him speak, but we've never had interaction for there to be a loyalty. There is no relationship loyalty. It's policy loyalty. Before we get into it, so
There we go. Yeah, shout out to, if you are on Kick, Instagram, Rumble, or X, Twitter, whatever, say hello. We also, of course, you guys know the Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch people already get their chats up here. But welcome to the party. So yeah, the fact of the matter is, it's just a very simple core tenet that this stuff is bad and Trump is fighting the bad stuff. Other people are pretending they're fighting the bad stuff, or not even pretending to fight the bad stuff, but campaigning for more bad stuff. It is just that simple. It's just that simple. So let's go to a different clip here, talking about the only group you can hate on is Joe Biden losing Jewish voters to Donald Trump.
So Mike, you said, because I saw the video too, Pat played it the other day about, you said, still voting for him. It's still on the table. We saw Adam mentioned, what was the break? What was that moment, Mike? Was it the way that the administration treated the Palestine, Gaza, the terror, the hostages? Because Mike, real talk, let's be honest. If Trump was, first of all, none of that shit was happening at all when Trump was in. Everybody just, this motherfucker was shaking people's arms and ripping them off the socket.
He's talking about the handshake. Oh, the Trump handshake, where he's like that. But yeah. I mean, I am somebody who was, I pay attention to this stuff. But when I saw in Dearborn, Michigan, where Ilhan Omar, and there was just an entire stadium of people waving Palestinian flags, immediately, I was like, oh, this is gonna wake some people up.
Everybody just, this motherfucker was shaking people's arms and ripping them off the socket. I think two things. A, it wouldn't have happened if it was under him. And number two, Mike, let's be real. Nobody did it in those 4 years.
Yeah.
Here's my thing, though. If it did happen under Trump and there was hostages, you don't think that guy would have gone in the next day, special forces, and just shot and killed Trump?
Well, I don't know about that, but that's his whole thing, the art of the deal. He would have been like, let's sit down and talk about this, and we'll figure out whatever we need to do. Otherwise, then yes, special forces are going to get in there and whatever. But that's the if nothing else, diplomacy and making deals was Trump's thing before he even got into politics.
Would not play this shit. Was it this thing, Mike, that made you go?
Israel pushed me over the top.
What was it, Mike? Like, please get into it.
The good cop, bad cop shit between Kamala and Joe Biden. Joe at first, what he said, it was good at first what he said, but I don't remember exactly what he said, but it was good.
Neither does he.
And
it's interesting to see Rapaport in this type of context. I'm not used to seeing him in long form. In his clips, it's always very high energy, boom, 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 boom. But he is, and not necessarily that it's a bad thing, but I'm just noticing that he's speaking much more slowly and calmly and thoughtfully. And I'm gonna be looking out for that, because I don't know if it's a good thing or if it's a bad thing. Like if he's uncomfortable, if he is playing a character in the clips or whatever it is. But I'm definitely gonna be paying attention to that. Shout out to Bill Bradley. Welcome to the party. Good to see you, brother. So the special forces argument is ridiculous. Use special forces for specific missions, not to take on 5,000 Hamas soldiers. This is not a movie. These guys are not Rambo. Morty is going crazy, trying to jump up here from where there's a bar there. You could have just come to the side. All right. Yeah, exactly. But to Rapaport's point, one of my big red pilling moments was when we were dealing with North Korea, and Trump was just like, "We're gonna bring fire and fury if you do this, that, whatever." I was like, what? This is North Korea. They're crazy. You're saying this to them? And I argued with for a long time with my dad about he didn't know it was gonna work, and my dad was just like, "Well, how do you know that he didn't know that?" Like, well, how could you? Like, well, maybe he didn't know, but that's what he does. He makes deals. But I definitely agree. Yeah, this is not that's not what would have happened if Hamas attacked under Trump. It just would have gone a lot better. But also, they wouldn't have, because it's not like they weren't mad about Israel while Trump was in office. So we don't have to speculate. It's very clear that these people wanted to do all the things that they wanted to do. They just thought they would be better off doing it under Biden. So he said Democrats, Russia, Hamas, all working together. Bingo. Yeah.
I don't remember exactly what he said, but it was good.
Neither does he.
And it resonated with Israelis. But the good cop, bad cop between him and Kamala regarding this was not cool, and it's offensive. That they are doing that, as speaking that way, when such a horrible, unacceptable situation took place in Israel.
Do you guys know what he means by that with the good cop, bad cop thing? I'm not really sure what he's referring to.
And that's when I first said that. I don't know what the date was. I believe it was sometime in October when I first said that. And
I thought he was saying, I don't know the exact date. I don't know the exact date of the attack. It's sometime early October.
And since then, I was like, I can't do it. I can't do it. I cannot vote for them. The border stuff. It shouldn't be harder for me to fly back into the United States from Toronto.
Preach.
2-3 hours.
Preach.
And I'm famous. I played a DEA agent on a show called Prison Break. DEA agent, border agent, they know me.
Okay, bro. Prison Break. All right. Fair enough.
It shouldn't take me, big star that I am, PBD, to get from Toronto flying to New York. It shouldn't take me 3 hours to fly back on that trip and take you 5 minutes across the border.
Exactly. This is why saying mean things or having a brash personality or being a draft dodger is completely irrelevant to America in 2024.
It shouldn't be harder for me to get back into my country from Toronto than it is to cross the border.
Good point.
And it is. And it ain't cool. And then, the thing that pushed me over the top this week, listen, I live in New York. I want to be clear on
Crazy
this.
point.
That's
So before they go on, I again want to show that if this were going the other way, if this was somebody who was in the Trump camp and then they realized, oh, you know what, whatever, I think that trans is the best thing ever, or whatever, and they go over to that side. Number one, there would not be that level of acceptance. There would be like, well, you said this back then, and you said this back then, and you said this back then. Whereas we're like, hey, Michael Rapaport, welcome to the club. Welcome to the party. We are glad to have you. And I think that that redemption, so to speak, is something that is going to be the crux of the culture war. That people are going to be going back and forth and whatever. But if it's okay to change your mind and go this way, and it's not okay to change your mind and go that way, then guess what? People are going to go this way being our way.
That's amazing.
You like that?
That's a
That was
crazy
Clip
point.
that and put that on the internet. Boom. Boom.
I am Rapaport.
But Pat, I'm going to just say this. The media also does this. It portrays New York as this fucking There's not as much homeless that I see. You know, I'm not Mr. Patrol. I'm not in the.
And where do you live? Where exactly do you live? And how far outside of where you live do you typically walk on the streets? Not saying you don't. I'm just saying, if you want to tell me that homelessness in New York City is not a problem, then you're not going where you know, not even necessarily Times Square, but just Penn Station around there. It's bad. Or it's just that he's so used to it that like 50 homeless people in one spot is not that bad.
5 boroughs scouring. There's not as much homeless, specifically in Manhattan. You know, I don't know the crime statistics. You know,
Clearly.
it's still New York. It's still the greatest city on the planet.
Is it though? I don't know about that, pal. I don't know if it is the greatest city on the planet anymore. There was definitely a time. There absolutely was a time where you could say New York City, greatest city on earth. Now, I don't know. Put a 1 in the chat if you think New York City is the greatest city on the planet. Put a 1 in the chat if you think it's the greatest city on the planet. And put a 2 if you think not so much anymore. Zippy said he probably lives in a high security gated commune like the hippie comrade he is. Good one. All right, let's see those 1s if you think New York City is the greatest city, and 2 if you think it is not.
My opinion, it's still everything. You know, that being said, when I saw the cops in Times Square, one of the epicenters of New York, one of the epicenters of all things American.
Make New York great again. Let's dilly to that one. I mean, as much as I was never a country mouse, or excuse me, a city mouse, as much as I was never really loving being in the city, and the fact that I love my suburban life, I like having my car and a parking lot and this, that, it was still the among cities. It was still beautiful. It was beautiful. There was things to do. There was places to go. And it's not that they're not anymore, but things have changed. Things have changed. Oh, yeah, all these things that he's talking about right now, they're still there, but things have changed.
One of the epicenters of New York, one of the epicenters of all things American in the world.
And real quick, put a 1 in the chat if you have not been to Times Square. I'm just curious because I have something to say if you're not familiar. But if you have not been to Times Square, put a 1 in the chat.
Think of the United States. That's one of the places they dropped the ball. Dick Clark, the late great Dick Clark. You dropped the ball in Times Square. When NYPD Blue, when NYPD's finest could get jumped by migrants,
Illegal migrants.
In my
there we go. Look at that. Shout out to Art. Hey, welcome to the party. Saying too, you know, it is not. He said, I'm from New York, and right now it's definitely not. And that's exactly why, you know, we want to dilly to make New York great again. It definitely could be the city that it once was, but the policies are destroying the city. To use the words of Mayor Eric Adams, destroying the cities. And it's there's no argument. Welcome to the party. Hey, Will Bradley said, yes, I like the suburbs as well. Grass, parking, convenience. Exactly. So we got a bunch of ones here. And guess what, guys? I forget. Oh, Times Square, right? So the thing about Times Square is that it's definitely not like it was in the 70s, where not that I wasn't alive in the 70s, but according to what they say about Times Square in the 70s, 24/7 it was shady. And then they clean, after Giuliani, and they cleaned it up. It was fine. There was, it was still a city. There was still crime and all that. But you could go to Times Square and see all the nice stuff and the restaurants and the stores. And there would be, some homeless people, but mostly the people on the street were either walking around, tourists, other people doing stuff, or street performers, whether it was somebody who had a guitar, somebody who was dressed up like Batman, somebody whatever. And then more recently, again, I don't even remember the last time I was in Times Square. But I mean, it was, maybe sometime within the last 5 years or so. And the level of homelessness has gone through the roof. And that creates a different environment. You don't feel like you can have as much fun because you have to be looking over your shoulder. You have to be making sure that somebody's not going to do this. You're not going to get pickpocketed, and all the little things that make you feel safe or unsafe. When you put them all together, it changes the environment entirely. Bill said NYC has a mandatory shelter policy that LA does not have, I think, meaning the homeless have more shelter access in New York City than LA. Not sure though. That would make sense given the numbers and how the weather is in LA versus New York. I would imagine the fact that there's comparable numbers that it probably has a lot to do with shelter policy. I think you are right, sir.
When NYPD's finest could get jumped by migrants,
illegal migrants,
and they're not deported.
What?
They're not deported, and people are in favor of them not being deported. Why?
In my city, I'm not the owner, but I'm born and raised in Manhattan.
I'm not the owner.
NYPD can get jumped by illegal migrants in New York City and then walk out with no bail, raising their middle fingers like Tupac did when he came out of the court.
Unbelievable.
Fuck you, fuck that, fuck this. In New York City, and I know that's a city thing. I know it's nothing to do with the president, but that's when I go, is New York still the greatest city in the world?
And no, it's not. Shout out to Guam Sex. Is this from my story or are you just saying this? It said New York, when you can say you're actually happy to just be getting arrested. That was exactly my story. Comment of the night either way. But I was talking the other night about how I was going to a concert at MSG and come out of Penn Station. Okay, I was gonna say if that was just coming off the joke, that would be hilarious. But yeah, I was going to a concert at MSG, and my tickets were at will call. And I go in, I go through security. I take, it was just a couple of joints in my sock and whatever. I go through security, and I made the horrible mistake of making sure I didn't get, you make sure you're in the place where you're gonna smoke before you touch anything. And I didn't do that, so I took them out. And then the lady's like, "Oh, your ticket's at will call on the other side of the building." And so I had to go outside. I'm outside. I'm like, "Oh shit! Now I got to go back through security." And so I try to just tuck it in my sock real quick. I'm looking up. And I see two dudes beeline into me, and I thought I was getting robbed. So they flash a badge, and I'm like, "Wow, at least I'm happy to be getting arrested." So he said, "Getting arrested is better than paying $6,000 to rent an apartment the size of a closet." Yes, agreed. And it's also better than getting mugged and beaten up. So accurate.
That's when I go, is New York still the greatest city in the world? If you can do that, because that is a slap in the face to everything that is great, special about New York. And that is a slap in the face that is everything that's great, special about the United States of America.
Exactly. This is what we've been telling you. And all your response has been, well, you're racist. You're xenophobic. This is what we've been telling you. And that's why I say, in the other clip, when he was like, "Oh, I feel like I got a good, a good feeling on political positions." Do ya? Because just last week, you thought Trump was the worst thing ever. So maybe take a step back. Maybe take a minute to catch your breath. Have a little bit of humility and realize, oh, I was very, very wrong. Maybe I should, before I go out preaching opinions, maybe I should listen some more. Guys, can you do me a huge favor and hit that like button? It is free. It helps so much. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yep.
And that's when I said the other day, This is just, I can't.
And homie's wearing a freaking Kobe jersey, a 24
And
Lakers
that's
shirt.
New York. And that's when I'm like, this is where I know the best. I know New York City better than any
More
other
better?
place that I've spent a lot of time in California. That is my
Mo better.
city. That's just the most blatant, disrespectful shit that you could do. That you can do this in New York City. You could beat. Let me tell you something.
Bill says, chuckleheads like Rapaport are surprised that the left are surprised that the left that they cozied up to actually hates this country and everything about it. And they're not too fond of Jewish people either. Yeah, they were just talking about that in the last clip. Yeah, it's just, and sadly, I don't think that this is going to lead to any type of awakening in Michael Rapaport. I think that, let's take the ground that we've won and realizing that somebody who was very outspoken about Donald Trump is now seeing, hey, maybe he's not that bad. But I think that's about as far as it's going to go. Mo better butter.
To think that you could put your hands on a cop in any city, let alone in a city that you ain't from, in a country that you ain't from. When I haven't traveled the world a lot, but when I'm
Shout out to Michael over on Instagram. Remember, if you are or wherever you are, say hello.
in Israel, Argentina, the places that I've been to, I find out the rules and regulations, and I'm a disruptive personality. If you can't spit, you don't spit. When you're in Thailand, you can't say certain things. It'll get in trouble. Let alone put your hands on a cop. The audacity to jump on a fucking New York City cop and walk out with no bail. That shit's embarrassing.
And Mike, these are the, and we talked about this.
Clip
Mike.
that too.
Yeah, these are the same.
Imagine traveling to a different country and beating up a cop anywhere else.
No, but we're ready for this.
I mean,
Much less even in your own country.
Brittany Griner did a year and a half in
And
jail.
We're bringing some weed to Russia.
It wasn't even. It wasn't a vape thing. But Mike,
And you could do this.
Do we even I'm just, you know what? Brittany Griner, we're just gonna let it slide.
And you walk out with no bail.
Flipping double birdie.
But besides the flipping
Nah,
off,
you're right, man.
hold on, getting stomped out. Mike, this one pissed me off. Other New Yorkers didn't do shit. Number two,
Okay, but that's New York, bro. You don't get involved when there's fights going down, somebody's getting arrested, whatever. You just keep it moving. That's just New York.
number three, this is the same NYPD that were heroes that were running into the World Trade. I did this, Mike, last week. Running into the World Trade, saving people, and nobody's helping these dudes. And then you know what that means? The system. They went into court and they're like, bye, get out. And then go back in the street.
That really hurt my heart. As I'm born in New York hospital. That hurt my fucking heart.
So here's a
Qualtech says, I really hope PBD asked him why he thinks so many people in New York keep voting for these insane politicians and in return supporting the policies that are destroying the city. I don't think he's the right person to ask that question. I don't think it's very clear that he doesn't think about politics to that level. And so he might be able to have some, some answer to that, but I don't think it would be anything substantive. Shout out to Bon Zig. Welcome to the party. We also got Mark in the building. Welcome to the party. Stop in to hear about him finally seeing the light. That is the light. That is exactly it. Welcome. Bill says when he was talking about spitting, that is a law in Singapore. You can get fined $1,000. Know the laws where you travel. Good advice. So the Soul said it's embarrassing. He isn't wrong. Maybe this incident will be the last straw for more people than we think. I don't know, though. I'm not black pill, just a light gray. Yeah, I mean, you got to be a little bit realistic, and the propaganda, the brainwashing, the indoctrination. It's been so incessant for so long that even if there's cracks starting to show, I think we're a little bit further off from people really seeing what is good. Shout out to Alessi McDowell in the building. Welcome to the party. So all the Republican policies kill red state economies in favor for New York and San Francisco. It's called ALEC. Not familiar. All right. Zibby said Israel is a bit of a catch-22. Forget the world, UN, USA sticking the Jews there. They are a stable modern nation surrounded by third world. Even if expansion is hinky, Only they can do it. Fair enough. I.e., Israel is not great and not always does right, but such a mess in any direction you go in. Yeah, I mean, it's a shit show over there, isn't it? It is a shit show. Leslie said they practically turned California into their own neoliberal country. Yep, and it wouldn't be surprising if either California or Texas secedes from their side, saying America's not left enough, so we're California and we're leaving, or we're Texas and America's not right enough, so we are leaving. Wouldn't be crazy. RP said they don't think for themselves. Their opinions are given to them. They're told the other side is racist, while also trying to use an equation to justify their own racism. Racism equals prejudice plus power. Yeah, I hate that. It's like, no, you just that was one of the first examples of semantic obfuscation. Again, changing the meanings of words or the usage of words so that it is more advantageous to you in a rhetorical manner. Whether it's a debate or just the general political landscape, to be able to change racism and add that it has to have the power part, that completely changes what we're talking about when you say that word. And they've done that with racism, they've done that with Nazi, they've done that with everything. As he said, Alec is actually why the deep state hates Trump. Really important to know. It's everything. I guess I gotta do some looking into that. All right, let's dive back in here.
Really hurt my heart. As I'm born in New York hospital. That hurt my fucking heart.
So here's a question for you.
Sorry to curse.
No, it's all good. So do you speak to...
I know you keep it clean over here, Pete.
Before we get into it, so last time on Tuesday, we announced anybody that buys...
All right, so we move on to the next clip here. So this one is just about him being wrong. I was wrong. I was wrong about Trump.
One thing that I really disdain in the mainstream media, or even media in general, even with you guys, or when people are talking politics, is side or a president you don't like does something good, it's never acknowledged. So I'm going to ask you this.
Yeah, and so Mensa Marks, exactly what I was saying earlier, that we want to have these people who, they don't necessarily have the best ideas, but they're moving in the right direction. And we want to be open to that. We want to bring, like, hey, yeah, you did all of this, but hey, as long as you're on the right track now, we good. Of course I know who you are, brother. Come on. Yeah, it's the same name from Discord. I know what's good.
Because you could probably answer this better than me. What has the Biden administration done that you do like?
First of all, the economy is doing good. It's okay. Who is it good for, though? It's good for the rich guy.
Hey, shout out to Bon Zig. Welcome. Oh, my goodness. With the, I don't even know what that is, but thank you so much. And of course, let's get rid of that real quick. Every donation comes with a treat for my boy, Morty. Yummy. Thank you, Bon Zig. And of course, that makes you the new sponsor of the stream. What does Bon Zig say? I'm going to have a chill stream. I know Rapaport, but I don't have much opinion on him, so I will rather listen and learn. Indeed, let's do it. Thank you so much. Again, that makes you the new sponsor of the stream.
People that are making money, they're doing good.
That's you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm okay. I'm not, again, like I said to Bill Maher, guys like me are going to be good no matter who's the president. By the way, the more they print money, I'm always going to make more money because money always rolls up to the wealthy because the poor and middle income don't know how to keep it.
Shout out again to Bon Zig. That's one of the kinds of things that, just saying that, PBD just being like, hey, I'm going to make money either way. That's not something a lot of people in his position are willing to just put out there. It's not like they would be trying to hide it. But the idea that, like, hey, I'm good. Like all this stuff about, the economy and everything, it ain't affected me. I'm talking about it because of you guys, and that's just endearing and shows that that he really does care. Leslie said, I just want to make it clear: the Uniparty makes bad laws for both sides, Dems and Republicans. Bingo. Yep. Oh, Bill's got to run. Thank you so much for hanging out, brother. You have a good one.
They know how to spend it. The more they spend it, who do they spend it on? On capitalists that own equity. And the equity people make money. If I would say, the fact that the expectation of a massive recession to be taking place, well, that didn't happen because that could have been in shambles, right? Unemployment stayed okay. I think Powell, the way he managed the interest rates, while the way we were going about the economy was okay.
The interest rates they're not good right now.
It should stay like, and by the way, I said this last week.
They suck now because I just bought a house
Yeah.
and a car.
Ooh,
in the
damn.
last, and the interest
Why?
rates are like,
Where did you buy your house?
I don't want
Good
to
question.
say.
What
You're not
state?
going to like this.
But not in this state and not in Texas. So I didn't get the
But what a terrible, terrible time to not only be in the market for a house, but also a car. Like, god damn. Once again said, PBD spitting facts from rich dad, poor dad, uncomfortable, but true. Party brings new meaning to the purple people eater.
Okay. So you're in New York or California?
Something like that.
I will say this to you on the interest rates. Even when Trump gets elected,
Wait a minute. Excuse me. Wait a minute. Did he just say he did get in New York or California?
Okay. So you're in New York or California?
Something like that.
I will say
Maybe there was another, because obviously when we think about moving from New York City or California, any of the Californian cities, we think about the political reasons and wanting to get out and go somewhere that's less egregious, let's say. But if he moved from somewhere in New York City to somewhere in New York City or to California, there has to be some like job or something other than I just wanted to move. That's insane. In this market, insane.
say this to you on the interest rates. Even when Trump gets elected, my concern is he fires Powell and he brings somebody to lower the rates. If you lower the rates immediately, we're going back to fake success again. And we need to filter out a little bit of the fake success. There's way too many people that made fake money that need to just quit. So here's
namely the Federal Reserve. But yeah, I think that, as little as I know about the economy and how it works and stuff like that, that makes a lot of sense. That if we immediately create circumstances that are getting people to put out money that they have, then that's going to create another housing bubble. I don't think we want that. As he said, the 1971 Powell memo states that 88 neoliberal corporations pitched in 10% of their quarterly earnings to control the courts, media, Dems, GOP, and the black world government, and they do it without it. Jesus fucking Christ. So said, still thankful every day we got our car and house in 21. Damn sure wouldn't be in the market now. Yeah, I drive a 2015. It's a 2015 Chrysler 200. And I mean, it's just I'm not a car guy. It's just get me to point A, point B. And it's fine. I definitely, I need to get some work done and my oil changed and all that shit. But in terms of it's a car. It's a car. If I knew that the market was going to go the way that it was in 2020, 2021, right in that area, especially because I drive a lot for work. Again, if those of you don't know, I'm a professional dog trainer. I do private dog training, so I go to people's homes. If I could have gotten a hybrid, I would have saved so much money over these past few years. Because again, it's 2015, so it's not an old car, but it definitely wouldn't be unreasonable to trade up. And I definitely I need to get that remote start and the heated seats. When I had my Acura, I had heated seats. And almost year round, I had that shit. But anyway. Zippy said the market is awash in fake money for the past decade or 3. Yep. Quantitative easement. Yeah, quantitative easement. Exactly. It's not good for anybody except the elites.
Says there's way too many people that made fake money
Yeah.
that need to just quit. So here's
Oh, well, I was definitely, am certainly not in the position to buy a new car. I was definitely planning to buy a pre-owned, but yeah, I think there's definitely, my like Kia's been doing some good stuff. Hyundai has been doing some good stuff in terms of lower end vehicles, money wise and stuff like that. I mean, I'm not really, I wouldn't buy American again. I have the Chrysler now. That's the only American car I had. My first car was a Subaru. Then I had my Honda Civic. Oh my God, I loved my Honda Civic. It was a 4-door, but I treated it like a racer. And I had the different headlights and the rims. Oh man, I miss that car. So the Subaru, then the Civic. Then I got my Acura. Something happened with the Acura that I had to get a new car, and I want to say it was a Dodge Dart. I had a Dodge Dart, and then I totaled that one because an 18-wheeler decided to slam on his brakes and go into my lane on a rainy night. But yeah, there you go, the JDM boys. Let's go. You know what it is. If you know, you know. So we have a 97 F-150. Nothing wrong with any vehicle if it gets from point A to point B, and hopefully back to point A. Oh, that was supposed to be a ding. Agreed. Yeah, that's a classic. Pre-owned is the way. Yeah, I've never had a brand new car, and I'm totally fine with that. Like once I'm at a place where I have like money to spend, then at that point I will buy a new car. But I don't feel the need like when it's something, when it goes beyond a necessity in terms of I can only afford, like I have to have a car, but like I can't be doling out money to get the nicest thing. Once that changes and it's like, oh yes, I can spend the money to have a luxury aspects, then I'm gonna get a nice ass car. But before that, it's just I don't understand people, in their mid-20s, getting brand new cars and having a car payment, and that's just another way to get yourself into debt. But Golden said my 2013 Honda Fit is super nice to me. I was looking at the Honda Fit, especially after all the early 2000s Chevys I own and broke down constantly. Yeah. American made, not what it used to be. As he said, once the Japanese got into the auto market, America stopped planned obsolescence in car manufacturing, and American cars got better. I've heard definitely better. But I still, the Japanese cars. I don't think I'll ever have a non-Japanese car again, unless I already have my day-to-day driver, which is a Japanese car. I mean, my mom drives a Kia, so I hope that's not the case. But they definitely like when they revamped their whole thing, and so their whole company. So maybe in the past, because like we remember the old like Kia Sorento and like what was the one with the commercial with the hamsters, the Kia Soul. So the Kia Soul was kind of they're dipping into like, okay, we're taking a new direction. So I just forgot it again. Pre Kia Soul, yeah, you're talking, but post Kia Soul, we're talking a different story. But all right, let's dive back in here. Boss 6 said Ford is a lord.
We're going back to fake success again. And we need to filter out a little bit of the fake success. There's way too many people that made fake money that need to just quit. So here's kind of what happens. Guy goes and starts a business. He should have never started a business. He's a better guy working for a business owner because he doesn't have good habits. Because of his bad habits, he hurts the employees. He should get out of business and go work for the other guy that is a good operator. During fake success time, these people look like great operators.
Right.
But during economy like this, they get exposed and then they go and say, hey, man, can I work with you? No problem. Come on down. Because we need more.
And this is also the kind of thing that you saw just in terms of raw numbers, where with the PVP loan scams, where there was fake success, where you had money, but the implication was that you were gonna pay it back. And then, that was a whole mess. That was a whole mess.
Solid operators, not fake success operators. We had a lot of those fake success operators during that 128-month economic expansion of pretty much zero interest rate. So, yeah, I'm not
Michael,
I'm
can
not
I
a
make
fan
a
of that.
prediction?
Go ahead.
Brace for impact. You're going to vote for Trump. And I'll tell you why. Because you're
I don't know if I could do that.
I'll tell you why.
Mike, hang
I'll
on.
tell you, and by the way, you're
That's interesting. He's saying, I don't know if I could do that. He has said that it's on the table. I don't know what the order of these clips are. I put them in the order that I wanted to watch them, not necessarily the order of chronologically of the podcast. But he did say that, voting for Trump was on the table. And now he's saying, I don't know if I could do that. And I think, again, a lot of people are in that situation right at this moment. And we have to realize it's only February. It's only February. Think about how much stuff has happened just this year so far. And think about how much time we have between now and Election Day. There's no way that the split of Biden and Trump voters that we have today is going to be anything close to what we have on Election Day. I think we're just going to have more people filtering over to Trump. But I think even like if Trump is charged with this, that, or the other, I think a lot of people, despite the fact that we all know what's going on, and it's like we're not aware that he's indicted on this, that, and the other. But some people will say it's okay that he's indicted, but if he gets charged, oh, okay, that must mean the court said it, so it must be true. That kind of thing. So, yeah, I'm with Sauce here. I think he's gonna vote.
because you're.
I don't know if I could do that.
I'll tell you why.
Mike, hang on.
Tell you, and by the way, you're talking to somebody that was probably closer to your camp in 2016. And
he was.
I said, shit, me too.
This guy hated.
I never said hate. I didn't like Trump, but
I hated it.
Also, I've never said the word hate. You can roll the tape.
Okay.
I didn't like a lot of the things he did. A lot of things you highlighted. For me, there was the one that I was like, I can't do this. Was when he pretended like he didn't know who David Duke was. Everyone knows David Duke, leader of the KKK, is out there in Louisiana. Okay, come on, Trump, you don't know who this guy is. But you're also a reasonable person, and you're also a dude. Like, you're a dude. You like to play ball. You like hip hop. You like to talk shit.
You're a dude. I'm a dude. She's a dude. We're all dudes.
You're not a woke LGBT unicorn type kid.
Beta.
That's
You're not
you.
beta.
That's not you.
No.
So you've seen what the left has produced over the last 4 years. Again, I'm telling you, somebody that's been in that camp. I'm a JFK Democrat. Why am I a JFK Democrat? Because my dad was a JFK Democrat. So that basically led to me being like, oh, JFK's the man. He's a Democrat.
Would we say that's fair enough to say I'm a JFK Democrat is at least in the same vein of the sentiment that when I talk about how I'm a 2015 liberal? Does that kind of mean the same thing? Yeah, cowabunga, dudes. I was just saying, can someone tell me why Rapaport is all of a sudden a turncoat? Because he saw what was going between what was happening with all the people supporting Hamas and after October 7th and all the stuff with immigration. He's like, shit, I was wrong. I was wrong.
That led to me liking Clinton. I like Clinton. All right, cool. He's out there kissing babies, getting blowjobs. I like that guy. Charming guy.
Charming.
We met him recently. Stud of a guy. His wife, that's a whole nother conversation. But, if you were looking at politics and you said you weren't paying attention to it, in my senior year, I worked in Tallahassee in Florida State where I went to school. I was worked at the Capitol building. This was during the 2000 election, Gore versus Bush. I was a Clinton guy. I was rooting for Gore, what have you. I used to see Jeb Bush, George W. I was around this. Oh, shit. We saw what happened during the Bush administration, the bookends of it, 9/11, and then the great financial meltdown. There was no way in a million years that old John McCain was going to win the election over cool Barack Obama. It wasn't happening.
Yep.
We know
So
that.
if you believe in the Obama doctrine, all right, be nice to each other, whatever. There's no way you were voting for Trump. It just
Hey, shout out to Trey Williams. Welcome to the party. So I never understood what any of that means to be a Reagan Republican or 2015 Democrat. Is that like certain issues you stand for? So no, that's more like so if somebody's today was to say I'm a woke leftist, you have an idea of what that means, that they are for trans stuff, that everything's about racism, whatever. That phrase, I don't even remember what I said. Progressive leftist? Is that what I said? Imagine we said progressive leftist. Woke leftist. That's what I said. So, but woke leftist might not mean the same thing today that it did 10 years ago. And it might be a different thing 10 years from now. So you're associating with the label as it was described at the time. So being a Reagan Republican means that if you're saying I'm a Reagan Republican, then you're saying the GOP, the actual Republican establishment. I was okay with the Republican establishment as of the Reagan era, but after that, I'm more conservative, but I don't like the GOP. When I say 2015 Democrat, I mean, I don't feel like a lot of my positions have changed. I think, the biggest thing is probably my position on guns. But other than that, I have the same values that I've always had. But where I stand or lie on the political spectrum has changed because the landscape has changed. So if I'm a 2015 Democrat, well, I say liberal, but if I'm a 2015 liberal, then what liberal meant in 2015 still applies to me today, even though I'm a Trump-supporting conservative. But welcome to the party, Trey. Great question. Any Film says, as a Reagan Republican, when Reagan was president, it meant to me small government, individual freedoms, and individual responsibility. So the Soul said, just like saying Trump is actually a 90s New York Democrat. Yeah. And so it's just it's acknowledging that these labels are loose and they do change over time. And so it's just saying, it means something different now than it did then. And I associated with it then. And now I don't necessarily have a label that I perfectly align with. And yeah. So any film specifically on just one question about how a lot of people on the left will bring up how during Reagan there was like a 90% tax rate on the highest bracket. How is that small government, individual freedom, individual responsibility, but how is that a small government and individual freedom? I've never had a good answer to that just because I don't have a context for the time. And it seems like a good question, but something tells me that it's not a good question, that it's a dumb question and has a very easy answer. I just don't know what it is. All right, let's dive back in here.
Doctrine, all right, be nice to each other, whatever. There's no way you were voting for Trump. It just wasn't in the cards. It wasn't happening. He was abrasive. He was racist. The media, yada, yada, yada.
And he was a joke. Like as New Yorkers, like he was like,
he's a ball busting troll.
Exactly.
He's a
but
shit
here's
talker.
why I think you're going to vote for him this time, because you've seen what happened under his first term. You didn't like it. He's the pig dick, and he's got the mean tweets, and he's orange. But life was good. There was no wars. The economy was going good. But damn, he's annoying to look at. But you also can acknowledge that the media had a major role in that.
Major role in that.
When
When you take a step back.
Yes. You also.
So guys, I just put a new poll. Replay gang, let me know in the comments below. Will Rapaport vote Trump 2024? Do you think he is actually going to go full bore and say, yes, I believe in Donald Trump to be the president? Or do you think he's just not there? He's had a little bit of awakening, but he's just not there. Let me know in the comments below. Leslie said, markets are not a natural phenomenon, as the classical liberals had believed. They are human constructions, and therefore the neoliberals should take an active role in their creation and maintenance. Are you guys liberal or neoliberal? I want to say I'm definitely not a neoliberal. So if those are the options, I would say I'm more liberal in terms of a classical liberal. But markets are not a natural phenomenon. I'm not sure. So when you say the classical liberals had believed, can you articulate this idea that markets are a natural phenomenon, as the classical liberals believed? What exactly do you mean by that point? So indie films said, I don't recall that being a thing. I have to look it up. And if it could have been, and if it could have been that high tax rates when came into office following Carter. As far as I remember, he reduced taxes. So again, and we're both talking out of our ass here. But as far as I understand, the brackets were separated more. And so if you were middle class, you were paying less taxes. But that's because the one percenters were paying 90%. But again, I don't know. Don't quote me on that. So the Soul said, yeah, when I was a baby, I was a baby when Reagan was president. So all I've ever heard are his speeches, which sound mostly good, but we know how that can go and doesn't mean much. Yep. And especially back in the day when there was no fact checking, there was no, finding it online and going through, there was none of any of that. Zibby said 80s Republicans, half of them did not know what the other half was doing. Hence the NWO won. Well, I think that's in general before the internet. Like it was just the uniparty doing what the uniparty was and creating this illusion that there's two sides and you are either on this side or that side. I think that's exactly the political theater that has been the house of cards that has been destroyed with technology and the internet. And he also consider the free market a natural phenomenon. Yeah, so would I. That's why I'm not exactly sure what Leslie is saying, that markets are not a natural phenomenon, because the idea that like supply and demand is a natural phenomenon. So if that's something that we're talking about, then I'm not really sure. Okay, but what is the again? So what's the claim? So you said markets are not a natural phenomenon as the classical liberals believe. So what is it that so can you articulate what the classical liberals believed about markets being a natural phenomenon and where they are wrong? What is the part that they are wrong about? Shout out to Woodrow Godshine. Welcome to the party. Said I knew Obama wasn't going to do anything substantial to fix the country when he continued W's policies when handling the 2008 financial crisis. Obama could have stepped up, but he didn't. Yep. Let's see. Are we missing anything here? Neoliberalism is pretty much neoliberalism pretty much means the market is not foolproof and needs to be controlled by unelected elites. So definitely not that. Leave the market alone. The less we can disrupt the goings on of the market, the better. That's where I am. So the Soul said, internet makes political theater harder to accomplish for the uniparty. Sadly, it also tells us how many people don't think for themselves still. Yeah. We have to realize how new this idea of being able to understand the deep state and all that stuff. It's a very new idea. The CIA and the FBI, they had papers, but unless you had this clearance or that clearance or whatever, you weren't reading them. So you just didn't know. All right, let's dive back in.
Media had a major role in that.
That when you take a step back.
Yes. You also acknowledge that,
because you've also acknowledged that that one thing about the Charlottesville that I ranted about.
Yes,
and I was wrong
about the both sides thing. Yeah,
and I respect so irresponsible,
and I respect the shit out of it.
Wait, let me hear him out. Hang on, go a little bit more. What do you mean by that? You were wrong on that.
No, because he said the both sides. There's good people on both sides, and when you see the full quote, that wasn't what he said, and.
Funny how that works. It's almost like they purposely clipped it in such a way to make you think what they want you to think instead of actually presenting information and letting you, an intelligent person, think what you want.
You know, I ranted on him hard for that. Hard. There's some video about it, whatever. I mean, I ranted hard because I was like, what are you talking about, man?
Because you got played. And here's what this is why I think you're going to vote for Trump. Is because you, much like me, much like many people, independent thinkers, not the sheep, realize we kind of got played a little bit. Yes, Trump ain't exactly the smoothest character. He's not
Jesus Christ.
No, but he actually, his policies and who he has around him are way better than what's going on there. And here's my final point. You see what's going on with the border. You see what's going on with the wokeness. You see what's going on with culture wars. And you see what's going on with actual wars.
Yeah.
Specifically, you see who the Democrats have exposed their hand, especially the progressive left. You see what's going on between Israel and Gaza. You have 3 starved David highs on your chest right now. And as someone who is a proud New Yorker your whole life, you see what the Democratic Party has turned into. This DEI, ESG, woke manifestation of ridiculousness, intersectionality, decolonialization. You're looking at that and you say, you know what? As much as I can't stand pig dick Donald Trump,
You said it.
at least he's fucking normal. At least he doesn't want to turn my boy into a girl.
Exactly. At least he's normal. He's a normal asshole. He's normal. That's the level. That's the level that we're at. Can we get a normal person who's not a fucking weird whatever that wants to corrupt your children? That's the level that we're at.
He's normal.
Well,
But yes.
At least he doesn't want to turn my boy into a girl.
Yeah.
At least he's defending Israel, not the fucking terrorists. And at the end of the day, I'm a reasonable person.
Yeah.
So like you said initially, I think I'm going to consider this.
Oh, I'm considering it.
Yes.
But to pull that, I don't know. We don't pull levers anymore.
Yeah.
And that's fair. That's fair. Again, we don't want to have to push people and be like, okay, well, now that you see it, you have to do this, otherwise you're a bad person and you're buying into this. That's, as we've seen, not a good way to approach people who are on the fence. Let him be like, okay, hey, I'm not sure. Hey, you don't have to be sure. Just keep your eyes open and keep paying attention. There's a long time until you have to, to vote. So just, pay attention. That's it.
Actually pull that lever.
Yeah, but pulling the lever for Biden.
And then
I'm going to tell you right now, I won't vote. I'm not voting for Biden.
No.
I'm not voting for Kamala. I'm not,
But then you can't talk shit. And you need to be.
I hate that. You absolutely can talk shit, whether you voted or you didn't vote. If you are an American citizen, you absolutely have every right to speak whatever the fuck you want about anything.
But talk
Well,
shit.
wait a minute. So you're saying, so for you,
I won't vote for them.
so no matter what, that decision is
That
final.
ain't happening.
Okay.
No, I'm not. That's not happening.
Who, what?
For
I'm not
Kamala
voting
and
for
Biden.
Kamala. I'm not voting
Or
for
anybody.
Biden.
Well, but Mikey, what about
I'm not
anybody
voting for
else?
them.
What
No,
about
no,
Michael?
listen,
What about anybody
Vinny,
from the
what he's
left?
saying is,
Who?
what he's saying
There's
is,
nobody.
I'm saying, like,
Kennedy.
what if Newsom or one of these cats pop up? That's what
Gavin. I just left California. I'm not voting for Gavin with the good hair.
I love that. I love that.
Gavin with the good hair,
But
just like
Fuck
Becky.
out of here.
So Mike, here's my thing though. So
I'm not a sucker. I'm
Yeah,
not
they love
voting
him.
for
You see
Gavin.
You sure?
how much they love him, though.
they love his
Newsom.
ass.
They like his hair.
But go deeper. Why do you say you're not a sucker? What does that mean?
Because I just moved out of Los Angeles.
Okay.
That kind of sounds like you're a sucker. You just moved out of Los Angeles?
It's not happening, man.
Explain that for those of the people that have never lived in LA. Why the hell you've been there for 20 plus years? Why the hell did you move out?
Well, I moved out because I wanted to go to New York. I didn't move out for any reason. I wanted to move back to New York full time. That's why I left. But
So there we go. He didn't move for any political reasons. He just wanted to leave LA and go back to New York City. And that's fair. I mean, hey, not everybody has to move for reasons that are politically expedient. But I thought the fact that he had moved would speak to the fact that he is having this awakening. And so we end our poll with 75% of you saying that, yes, Michael Rapaport will vote for Trump. And I am with you guys. I do think he will do that. If it's February and this is where he is, and he's saying, I'm willing to abstain because I'm not voting for Biden and Kamala. All that can happen from here for somebody like him is learn more good things about Trump. right? That's all that can happen. You already quote unquote know the bad things. There's no more like bad things that you could learn about Trump. It would only be the good stuff. Let's see. Said Truman was about the time it all went to shit. We started losing every war to socialist countries. We lost, I think, because Coors were waging a war against the working class people of entire countries. Germany just lost a world war trying to do that. Yep. Wild.
Just on top, the homelessness in New York, in Los Angeles and in California, San Diego, San Francisco. I could speak on those places. Sacramento is so, but particularly in Los Angeles, in the Los Angeles area is unacceptable. It's scary. It's I don't know the how to fix it. It's unacceptable. It's not safe. It's not sanitary. I know California and Los Angeles is a driving city, but I do like to walk. When you walk, you shouldn't feel just
Scared?
uncomfortable by hordes and hordes and hordes of homeless people. It's not
Most of whom, as we now know from the numbers in our last stream, more than likely not a U.S. citizen.
good for them. It ain't good for me. It's not good across the board. And the taxes suck. But the homelessness and how it went, down so bad, so quickly, and the crime,
Let's not forget about the crime.
This is where, as Guamtech was saying earlier, that the question should be like, okay, so are you going to stop voting for this kind of stuff? I think this might just
Before we get into it,
yeah. Are you going to stop voting for this stuff? Because, guy, it's very clear that you're not happy with how things are going. It's very clear that you want things to change. There's just one thing stopping you. You're scared of mean words. That's it. That's the only thing. All right. So this one is about voter ID. So I'm sure we're going to be getting into some race stuff here.
so we're going back to it. So do you speak, I'm not looking for names. Are there other people who would have never thought about voting for Trump, celebrities who are either in sports or business or whatever, Hollywood? Do they call and say, Michael, what the hell is going on in New York?
Pat. I can't.
So before we go into that, Woodrow is saying that TV seriously can be blamed for a lot of things. And Zibby said it did bring body language and how people look when they talk to the mainstream. It's almost like we stopped hearing and only focused on seeing. Ever since then, I think, I don't know the exact statistics, but they always say that a majority of the presidents, a lot of times the more attractive one will win. Back then, you didn't even know what the motherfucker looked like. All you heard was his ideas. And, that's like what Joe said, that can be blamed for a lot of things. So we need to get back to sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. And quit being a bunch of pussy. Dilly dilly to that. Bunch of bitches.
Can't speak on other celebrities.
Now, I'm not saying names, but are those
I can't even say other names. I can't even say other names. But I could say this. There's a lot of people in the Jewish community that I've spoken to a lot that are like, I never, ever, ever thought, some celebrities that I never thought I'd be at that point also, ever. And they're like, they were hard body like me, like F Trump, and all that stuff. Like never Trumpers, that's what you call them?
Yeah.
A lot of people, I would say, in my world, and I could say, two celebrities that pop in my mind that said I never would have thought I would have even considered, and here I am.
Yeah, that's exactly.
So that seemed like a lot of just fluff. But I think what he's saying is that there's a lot of people behind the scenes who are willing to say to each other that, like, yeah, oh, fuck that. I hate Biden. I hate all this wokeness. But obviously I can't say that out loud. But that's there. That sentiment is there. I could be wrong, but that sounded like what he's talking about.
what's that's the reason that I said I think you're going to vote for Trump, and it's not even necessarily you. It could be any extension of you, any reasonable person, especially Jewish, is going to look back and be like,
the Jews are not voting.
We're
not doing it.
How about the congressional testimony with the University of Presidents? Could it not condemn
Harvard
genocide?
and shit? Wait, Harvard
and
all those,
MIT,
all the Club and Gay going. There was literally protesting, like supporting Hamas, and I think that exposed like the Jewish community was like, "What the?
By the way,
hell is?"
That's exactly what I was talking about. Exactly what I was talking about. The fact that we saw these people right after Hamas attacks, they're waving Palestinian flags, and I just didn't know. And I'm not Jewish. I have no connection to Israel. If I did, that would be quite a wake-up call. And yeah, we're just saying, we have to show an ID to buy cigarettes, beer, but no ID required to vote. It makes total sense. And yet somehow, this has been a legitimate, well, not a legitimate, but an argument and a talking point for years. So I'm interested to see how they're going to address this, because I doubt that Michael Rapaport is going to say that that black people don't know how to get to the DMV. So I'm very interested. Monty said Rapaport sounds like he's going to say first and foremost at any moment. Let's see. Yeah, right. Didn't you know black people do not know how to get or use IDs? Some Democrat.
Hamas, and I think that exposed like the Jewish community was like, "What the?
By the way,
hell is
here's
going
something
on
I thought
here?"
of. Substitute any group,
100%.
other than Jews. We want to genocide all Mexicans, all gays,
forget it,
all blacks, all Asians. They would have been condemnation to the highest degree.
And that was what really changed my mind. Remember when Claudia Gay and the other presidents of universities were in front of Congress? And this is what I mean about being a 2015 liberal, is that I believe that on campus you should be able to say whatever you want as long as you're not breaking the law, as long as you're not inciting violence. And so if you want to say from the river to the the sea, then you should be able to say that. However, for a very long time, that has not been how college campuses have worked. So to make an exception that you can talk this way about Jews, but not anything else, we ain't gonna play that.
But Jews, somehow it's acceptable.
You know why?
Why is it acceptable, Mike?
You know why? Because we are the last acceptable group to publicly hate.
What about short guys? I guarantee you, short men is going to be the very, very, very last category that anybody is ever going to care about. Everybody's up in arms about all the anti-Semitism. Heightism, they don't even talk about that.
You can't do it against LGBTQ. You get canceled. Bye. Black community, Asian community, disabled community. You can't say the R word.
Mm-hmm.
You little person, you can't say the M word. There's a lot of things that if you say them, if I said it right now, you're done. But you can openly hate Jews. We are the last acceptable group, community, religion, race where it's not only acceptable, it's sort of
no consequences.
You're in both.
So the soul, interesting. She's like, I don't know. Redheads are being erased by Disney as we speak. I will raise you. There's never been a short guy who has been. I don't know if there's never been, but I mean, there's not enough short protagonists to be erased by Disney in the first place. What in the hell is on my? Let me do a little. Like, like the TikToks where the other girls are like doing their, so I was doing this and it's like, I thought there was something on my, I don't know. Anyway, M169's with me. M169 is with me. There we go. And Timmy's like, don't let your disability rule you. Comment of the night? Maybe. We'll star it and we'll see. we're going to see. I'm going to let you guys decide which one is the comment of the night. Politics says short men will be the next G side, especially when the designer babies become mainstream. Oh, yeah. No question. I would fucking. Do I want to say that? Do I want to say that? I don't know. I was gonna say I would fucking get rid of a baby if it was my height. You know, I mean, damn, it's a tough life. Y'all don't understand what it's like to be 5'4" and a man in a world. It's terrible, terrible. American British, and all of that. All right, let's dive back in here. Yeah, well, okay, but that's not what yeah, they brought them back, but we're not talking about dwarfism because that's ableism. Ableism is already a thing. Heightism specifically, not the fact that you have a disorder, but that you will be, but that it's that your height, based and progressive. Let's go.
Only acceptable. It's sort of
No consequences.
no
I already am, baby. I already am.
You're emboldened to do it right now, particularly right now. That being said, I will say anti-Semitism, anti-Jewishness has been around forever. It's going to continue to go around, but it is extremely.
Yes.
It's extremely disheartening and concerning and infuriating.
Sure. No. Yeah. I mean, like, shout out. I mean, hey, we got to build personality. It's just like we're just like the fat girls. All right. We gotta build personality and some other stuff too.
What's the not, what's happened in to the real people, the victims, is one thing, but the Claudine Gaze, the MIT woman who somehow still has a job, the Harvard woman, the people thinking that they could say, get off my campus, Zionist, who can tell my friend in a cafe in New Orleans, I'm not going to serve you because you're Zionist. All the shit that we've seen, whether it's Zionist, anti-Jewish, all that stuff, that is a surprise. And it's fucked up.
I don't know about you, but I've been saying retard again. I hear too many lefty because that's what I do. I use whatever the lefties will say. Because again, you guys know that I watch a lot of Destiny stuff. So when they use retard or talk about things being gay, if they've started doing it, like, okay, all right, well then you can't you can't. I was gonna say come on me for it. You know what I mean? Something said, depending on the shoes, my wife is either 1 inch shorter or 1 inch taller than me. There you go. Date within your height.
Rob, what's this here? Michael Rapaport, raising a Jew, Talib, Omar, AOC, you're in government. So this is which story is this, Rob?
The big three of anti-Semitism. This is how you know. That the phrasing. This is how you know that the tides are turning. That we're getting stuff like the big three of anti-Semitism. Even though it's Fox News, they've never been one to push back as hard as the liberal establishment. So the fact that this is out there is it's legit. Yeah, it's not gay. It's
gay.
This is our
regarding
the squad right here.
their support for Palestine
in our government, literally.
And this is the furthermore proof of why I don't think you can vote for the Democratic Party.
I'm not doing it. I'm telling you, I'm not doing it.
Yeah,
I ain't doing it. I'm not with them. I've been off of them. The AOC and I mean, I got
a question for you guys. I got a question specifically for the two of you, you and Michael.
I know everybody's like, Rapaport's been red pilled. And I do. I take 2 red pills in the morning, 2 red pills in the night. It's working.
For what?
Based.
2
red pills in the morning, 2 red pills at night. Hey, I mean, maybe you're deficient because I don't need that much and I'm already red pilled. But hey, I'll take what I can get. Again, we want to make sure that as people are awakening, We've had our own awakenings throughout whatever time period and whatever, whatever journey we've been on. We have to allow people to do it at their own time, their own frequency, their own, what's the word I'm looking for? At their own rate. And it's not necessarily, some people might have just this immediate, like, oh shit, now I love Trump. But I would even be cautious of those people, because again, if you've hated Trump for so long and now you immediately just love him, how much are you really thinking about this stuff? So we need to give people time to follow this path, understand more and more and more and more and more, and we have to realize that it does take time to understand these things fully. We say midget again? Were we not allowed to say midget? He's like, all I do is red pill you guys. That's why we love you. Thank you, Leslie. We need you. What would we do without you? Everyone says, good thing he's not taking that many blue pills. It could be very hard on him. Shout out to Blue Chew.
Pills, they have been red pilled.
So let me ask you, you know how in 1960, the whole Barry Goldwater, where it used to be only, 64% of African Americans would vote Democrat. By 1964, that 64% goes to 92% of blacks vote for Democrat, because Democrats were brilliant in the way to pin Republicans as racist against blacks. And it lasted like that for
till now. Semantic obfuscation from 64% to 90 something percent. What did I say? 93? That is insane. And it just goes to show exactly what I talk about all the time with this adhesion to the black community. It's not helping anybody except the Democrat Party. It's not helping anybody except the Democrat Party. If you treat people like people and you have values that you apply across all areas of life, you are a conservative. If you have certain principles that work here, and then it's more convenient for you to work there, and you think you're on this team, and those people are, then you're liberal. Up to you. You can think that you're part of a group that the world is trying to oppress you, or you can realize that life sucks sometimes. Life sucks for other people in different ways, and life sucks for me in this way. I think the latter is a better way to go. M69 said, I'd rather a person change their mind over time than overnight. It shows growth in thinking skills. Exactly. Yeah, right. They became the word police. That's the semantic obfuscation. We just said a club I used to work got picketed because a visiting entertainer had a midget in her moniker. And I'm not joking. I am not surprised that they will get mad at anything. Because again, it's not about the principle. It's about the fact that, hey, here's an opportunity for me to morally grandstand and be better than you because you said the word midget. Now, I'm sure nobody in the world was actually offended by that, but it was just an opportunity to express power, and that's all they do. It's just about winning. It's not about people's lives. It's not about our society. It's not about anything except winning this game that they play, that they're so removed from the actual consequences that they can think of it as a game. And that's why I was talking before about how when PBD said that, like, oh, I'm going to have money either way. He can be in the position to play politics like a game because he's unaffected. But he doesn't, because he has principles. And Musky9 said, I hate how the word community is used. It implies a uniformity of values, and that rarely exists. I mean, at least in that case, yeah. the black community. Like it's not a community, except for the fact that y'all continue to make it a community. That's it. The only connection is that you all agree that there's a connection. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? The only thing that is the black community is the agreement of the existence of the black community. Change my mind. Clip that one.
Decades till today, 60 years. It's lasted like that till today. Do you think
I'm never getting rid of that one? That's just it. But nope. It's the master bedroom.
this is going to be the October 7th event's going to be the type of an event where right there, exactly, 1964, 92% voted for
All right, so what are we looking at here? So black vote for president. So it goes back to 1936 all the way to 2004. And so if we look at 1936, 28% of the black vote was Republican. And, you know, up and down, it went up maybe, this looks like 35-ish in 1956. And then, of course, civil rights, 1964, bottoms out. And this looks like maybe 5-3, somewhere, single-digit percent. And then it's just hovered around there. You know, it went, and there was a little bit of a backup, but then it's just hovered around this 10% ever since the civil rights movement. Ever since the civil rights movement. And who's surprised? Who's surprised by any of this? It shouldn't be surprising. This is exactly what the plan was. Let's make them all feel like they are an oppressed group and that they only have each other and that we're the ones that can help them out. So even if you are a black person who has come from a good family, your parents are together, you got a good education, you went to college, you have no student loans, you still feel like you have to associate with the person who's made bad choices because they have your skin color.
What?
Yep.
Democrat. Look what it's been.
Uh-huh.
It's been anywhere between 84 to 92% voting for Democrats. They've owned, the Democrats have owned the black vote for decades. They've owned it for decades, right? Question for you. Do you think the October 7th event and the way they've handled it, will it be in a way where there may be a massive exodus from Jews leaving the Democratic Party, or no, you think it's still going to be the same?
I do. I think that
You think massive? Like a
yeah.
10 plus percentage?
I think way more.
I don't know. I think it's hard to tell because, you know, as we're terminally online. So like online, if you're an online Jew, then it definitely seems like October 7th and the you know, what's followed would be a deal breaker in terms of being part of the Democratic Party. But if you didn't see that, I don't know. Woodrow said, I believe the Dems are content to open the border because they cannot count on the black vote anymore. They are importing a new voter base. Yep. And think about how many times somebody has said this, disconnected from anybody else saying it. Random people are just like, wait, I think this makes sense. Probably because it makes sense.
More than
Oh, really?
Because I'll tell you why. I've had plenty of conversations with guys like Michael Rapaport. Jewish guys, reasonable dudes, make their money, do their thing, good people, good family guys. And I say, what's up? You voting? And I know these guys, good friends.
You're Jewish?
Yeah. And I said, could you vote? You're going to vote for Biden? You're going to vote for Trump now? What are they going to do? How many times I've had this conversation? They're like, yeah, I don't think I can do this thing. I didn't. Here's the biggest thing. We knew on the far right, we knew the Jews will not replace us. Tiki tortured, cactus wearing,
It's out there.
loving, those guys. We knew about those guys. And the Jews are just like, yeah, anything with the KKK, with the neo-Nazis, we ain't with that. But we had no clue what was permeating on the left. And it's the difference between the left and the right is that it's in government on the left.
The squad is
It's in government on the left. That is the difference. It's in government. That's a fantastic point. That yes, there are some violent aspects of the right, but not in the government. These people are elected officials.
The difference, but we had no clue what was permeating on the left. And it's the difference between the left and the right is that it's in government on the left.
The squad is
in government.
Yeah.
When the Democratic
That's a
Party,
fantastic
when
point.
when they have votes to basically censure Rashida Tlaib for basically supporting Palestine, 0 Republicans are with that. They're all like, yeah, we're out on this lady.
Yep.
Majority of the
Some
Democratic
people are
Party
with
they're like,
them.
yeah,
Yes.
we're with her. We're cool. So from an infrastructure, from a systemic problem in government,
Yeah, they're like, well, I mean, I don't know if I would have done that, but she's on our team. It's our team, and we gotta win, and it's all about that. So, let's keep her around. Let's not get rid of the woman who is sleeping with her brother and supporting Hamas. The government, not the voters, the government.
in Congress, you just as a Jew, you can't look at this and say, yeah, I'm with this.
Nope.
Because if you are, that means you're just turning a blind eye
Nope.
to everything that's happening.
Ain't
And you
happening.
have to.
100%.
Just like the blacks basically were like, yo, we can't get with the Barry Goldwater thing. Civil rights, everything that changed in the early 1960s changed the black vote.
Uh-huh.
This is going to change the Jewish
So
vote.
you're saying it's going to be
I am super excited. Guys, I really hope that you guys are coming to the after party. I am very excited to hear what you guys have to say about this stuff. Leslie said everything still flies in everything still flies in stand-up, to be honest. Hey, I mean, especially like a Kill Tony type environment, if you can make people laugh, it works. Woodrow said both sides have extremes that are based around hate. The big difference is the far right were justifiably demonized while the far left was championed. Exactly. Yep. Yeah, if it had been on the right, we do disavow it. Exactly. Yeah, we are, and that's the difference. That's the difference. That when we have people like David up here, and it's like, well, the policy and the numbers were here, and like, bro, I don't fucking care. That's not what I am worried about when it comes to an election. I'm worried about the foundation of our country, the foundation of our society. And that's so, I get it that that's broad. I get it that that's hard to argue against, and that must be frustrating. But guess what? That's a real opinion that many people have, despite what any numbers say, despite what any law about insurrection or this or that or any of those things, regardless of the 91 indictments. It is what it is. The wokeness has gone too far, and that is the most important thing, to stop wokeness. And the only answer to that at this point in time is Donald Trump. Again, I would have preferred if the only answer was Vivek Ramaswamy. But that's not the world we're living in. The only answer to saying that, regardless of what's going on, I think it's okay that children are being transed. The only way to push back against that in any way, in any meaningful way, is to vote against the party that is for that. Take abortion, take trans stuff, take racism, take whatever you want. It's so fundamental at this point that I don't care about what your numbers say. I know what I see, and I don't like it, and I want it to stop. And y'all are not going to stop it. Donald Trump is probably not going to stop it either, but he at least will slow it down for long enough for people like me to get in a position to have more influence to help stop the bullshit.
He's changed the black vote.
Uh-huh.
This is going to change the Jewish
so
vote.
you're saying it's going to be that big.
I do. But listen, 13% of this country is black. 1% of this country is Jewish.
Yeah, but
it's not a big number.
There's a difference.
But they have a big voice.
They have a massive voice.
What do you guys think? I don't think so. I don't think Vivek's going to be the VP. I think he, again, as I've said a number of times before, I think he is better poised to be in a better position for 28 if he's not the VP. I think he can do more either somewhere else in the cabinet or from the private sector. I think I could definitely see him in the cabinet, but I don't think it's going to be VP. I think if anything, he is like the Secretary of Defense or something like that, where he can actually do things, get things done. Be the VP is just kind of a I don't know, but while the VP is usually positioned to run in the following election, Vivek's not that kind of guy. What's going to get him to be positioned to run is the things that he says, the things that he gets done, not the fact that he is the VP. You know, I mean, Don and Vivek, in 2028. That would be interesting. That would be interesting. I would rather Vivek and Don if we're gonna go. Are you talking about Don Jr. or are you talking about just Trump and Vivek? Yeah, I don't think he's gonna be Trump Senior's VP, but yeah, I definitely think that for 28 he needs to be. We need to do whatever we can to keep him in the spotlight and keep him busy, keep him doing things that matter. Keep him doing things that affect the culture war, all that kind of stuff. That is really what we need. I have no fucking clue. I could not even tell you a guess. I have no idea. MLC9 said until the wives met up, I'd have agreed with you. I'm not so sure anymore, but I could be wrong. Okay, well, what's making you say that? Yeah, I could see Tim Scott. I could definitely see Tim Scott. That's probably would be my guess. Tim Scott. Don't forget, guys, Marty's all hungry over here.
It's not a big number.
There's a difference,
but they have a big voice.
They have a massive voice. So a flip, it's kind of like saying, I got 1,000 people here in a room who are not on social media, but I got 1,000 people here about to hear me speak. Mm-hmm. And then a guy on the other side says, yeah, I got a YouTube channel with 28 million subscribers. I'm willing to have you on the podcast. You got 1,000 physical people. That guy's one person with the kind of influence to, Sky. So for me, if this does happen, if it's a 10+% shift.
Yeah, I believe so.
That's not a 10% plus shift because the influence they have.
Yes.
Kari Lake would also be another fantastic choice. I do think that Tim Scott would be better in the sense that Kari Lake is already in kind of that MAGA America First group, whereas Tim Scott is more of a mainline, or at least seems like more of a mainline Republican, which would help bring in some of the people who aren't, because MAGA people are already voting for Trump. So we don't need more MAGA on the ticket in terms of voting demographics. I would love to see her as the VP, but in terms of voting demographics, I don't know that helps him. But yeah, I would love to see that. MLC9 said Vivek and his wife had a meeting with Trump and Melania. Again, I could be wrong, but it just felt like a shift. Can we, is there a video of that? Dinner with Trump? All right, well, all right, let's see what this is. Jesus, that's loud. All right, hold on. Against the backdrop of the Super Bowl weekend, the internet buzzed over Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago gala hosted by fan club of the Trumpets. Former President Trump appeared with his former GOP presidential rival Vivek Ramaswamy, sparking rumors of a 2024 VP candidacy. Trump has experienced a roller coaster campaign with notable primary wins and scrutiny from the Supreme Court. Former First Lady Melania Trump made a rare appearance at the Trumpets Gala, earning praise online for her grace. Yeah, right. Like, she has been like, I'm very surprised. It it has to be because of the timing of the Me Too stuff, but I'm very surprised how little the media went after her. And they did, but comparing relatively. With Vivek Ramaswamy's support evident at the event, speculation over his joining Trump's ticket has skyrocketed. Social media influencer Jessica Reed Krause stirred further speculation, posting footage from the event to her Instagram caption with the caption, "Feels a little VP to me." Laura Loomer, right-wing pundit Laura Loomer also posted footage from the event capturing Trump praising Vivek and touting his tremendous future. Vivek, who dropped out of the race and endorsed Trump, looked vice presidential after Trump invited him to say a few words to the audience. But again, there. Oh.
See, Vivek is here. I was happy to get the hell out of the race, I can tell you. And as soon as he got out, he endorsed me, and he's got a tremendous future. He's very young. He's young and he's smart. And Melania and I were just saying, I mean, you don't get sharper than this. And I just said, could you say a few words to the great audience? And ladies and gentlemen,
Okay.
Vivek, please.
If you want to seal the border, say it with me. Vote Trump. If you want to actually grow this economy, vote Trump. If you want to fight inflation, vote Trump. If you want to revive our national pride in this country, vote Trump. If you want to send Joe Biden packing home for the next 4 years,
Vote Trump.
vote Trump. If you want to make America great again,
Vote Trump. Let's
That's
go.
your power. Let's make it happen. The 47th President of the United States. May God bless the United States and Donald J. Trump. Thank you all. Vote Trump.
Guys, methinks Vivek is gonna be the VP. Y'all are completely right. I got the exact same feeling. Because I had not seen that before. But that definitely feels like something going out. I'll say it. I think it'll be Tim Scott or an outspoken female candidate. Tulsi would be an awesome pick. Bring the anti-establishment from both parties together. Make this shit undeniable. That would be great, but I don't know. I think there's too many people who are in the Republican establishment already. I don't see Tulsi. He got burned by the mainstream Republican before from Pence, right? Yep. Vivek and his wife were both there and got a huge welcoming. Trump also referred to Vivek as perfect the night Vivek dropped out of the primary. I still say Vivek will be better in his administration, but not VP. There can be such things as too good of a good thing. That's exactly what I am talking about. Exactly. All right, let's dive back in. Yeah.
If this does happen, if it's a 10+% shift,
Yeah, I believe so.
that's not a 10% plus shift, because the influence they have,
Yes.
that's going to be astronomical shift.
Yeah, but
Well, look,
and
when
my,
Guys, we did just pass the 2-hour mark. If you'd like to keep the party raging, you know how to
when
do it.
When we see the Genocide Joe campaign on the left from the Hamas brigade, when we see this, and they're just like, we can't support Joe Biden. Anyone with normal sensibilities is going to be like, okay, cool. Just help elect Donald Trump that moved the capital to Jerusalem. Okay, that will basically squash Hamas. So go ahead, keep campaigning for Genocide Joe. The Democratic Party is your only chance left,
Genocide Joe.
Hamas crew, to basically have a voice.
Do you agree with him
Because
on
Trump will
it's
stomp it all
going to be
out.
a double-digit shift on the Jewish vote?
I agree with him. Yes, I agree with him. I mean, listen, it's November when this is happening. Right now, we're February. A lot of different things can happen. But if it was today, next month, I would say 100%.
But we've also been fooled by the Trump. Trump is a Hitler. He loves Nazis.
well,
It's like
I
his
don't know.
daughter.
Nobody is
His
Hitler.
daughter married an Orthodox Jewish guy called Jared Kushner. His grandchildren are Jewish. This guy grew up in New York City, in Staten Island, I believe, it's Queens is where he's from. He's been around Jews his whole life.
Yep.
The fact that people think that Donald Trump is Hitler.
Well, they would say that, but I hate to be that guy, but I kind of don't. We told everybody so. I didn't fall into the personality shit because I looked past all that. And I'm not
We told everybody what?
special. I didn't go to college.
I'm not special. I didn't go to college. Sorry,
How did I know?
Shit, Vinny.
Yeah, thanks, Mike. But think about this. Think about it. The black vote, Killer Mike, all these people, everybody's shifting, right? Ice Cube, everybody's going Trump. The Jewish vote, as you guys are saying, as Jewish guys, it's a wrap, right? How are they gonna? They know that they're losing. You know how they're gonna keep on to it? The 22 million, Michael, that are coming in here illegally. Those people are gonna vote. That's their only.
People can't vote.
Yes, they can. How many states, Rob? How many?
Again. People are bringing this up independent of each other. People are bringing this. Who just said it? I don't know what it is. One of you guys just said it. I'm sure that you watched this beforehand and you want to be super cool and just came in and had a comment that you heard Vinny say. Or maybe it just makes sense.
States can vote with no ID. No picture on the ID. What do you mean?
You have to be registered.
No,
But I thought that was part of the deal.
How the hell do they register?
no, they
illegal
come. There's
migrants?
not, what do you mean? How do they register?
And in what state are they going
Congress.
to register? We all know that California is going blue. We already know that.
But yeah, they're all pushing for this thing that voter ID is racist. So if you don't have to have an ID and you do, then that makes it not that it's legal for illegal immigrants to vote, but that illegal immigrants will vote because the Democrats are promising them this, that, the other, and we don't need an ID. What do you think is going to happen?
Adam,
They're going to flip Texas.
Rob, you have that video that I sent you about
Texas
the voters?
was close
Rob.
last time.
Yeah, but Pat, I sent Rob a Slack
pipe
today,
dream.
Rob. I sent Rob a Slack about there's a guy in Texas, Michael, going up to all these migrants and interview them, asking them who they're going to vote for. Where is it? Is this it?
Is Slack just the corporate version of Discord?
No, that's not it. That's an illegal that killed somebody, and the hits just keep on coming. Go up. Is that it?
Hurrah!
That's it right here. He's just going up to migrants. Pull out the 22. This is the votes. Ready? They're illegals.
Derecho para votar.
So let's get rid of these. So it's those have entered. Those that entered legally have access to vote.
¿Para quién se va a votar?
Who are you voting for? Joe Biden. He's helping us here. I believe in the majority are for Biden. He's the one helping us.
Of course
Biden.
you are.
Por supuesto que por Biden.
Of course, for Biden.
Como apoyar a
He likes supporting the migrants. He's a very good person.
He's a very
Sí,
good
muy buena persona. No,
And Trump
es
is a
otra
different
cosa,
thing. He wants to keep us out. He has this idea that a country should have borders. That way, we can make laws for the people within those borders. He's a crazy, crazy racist. Is this gonna work for me? No. So close. So close.
Yeah, Trump's a different thing. It's votes.
¿Tiene
Because
derecho para votar?
Okay, well, I don't know what kind of policy, but
So anybody who's trying to say that this is just a crazy conspiracy, I think we've crossed the line. We've crossed the line where now it is you believing that everything between the courts, the politicians, the media, the medical establishment, the American Psychological Association, all these organizations and bodies are on the up and up and never told a lie, and everything is perfect. That is a conspiracy. To say that many people would not act in the normal way that human behavior would dictate is a conspiracy. If you do not think any of the quote unquote conspiracies are real, then you have become the conspiracy theorist. Congratulations.
motherfucker that just crossed the border, barely speaks English, has no clue what the hell's going on in America,
that means,
should not be able to vote.
But Adam, but guess what? The plan's working though. But hold on. What do you guys think? Oh yeah, here, voter identification laws in effect. A strict photo ID is the dark blue. Look at that.
Okay, so yeah, so strict photo ID. Let's get rid of these again. So strict ID 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 states. 9 states I think there's like a bunch of states, like 50, and 9 of them are strict on photo ID. Hey, shout out to Poon Cooter. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the party. Good to see ya. So what else we got here? So 9 out of the 50 states have strict photo ID. The rest of these are strict but non-photo ID. So I don't, seems like a bunch of extra steps, because if there's no photo, pretty easy to fake. But let's see. The strict that would be these, I guess. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, wait. This is the same state, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, we're up to 10. We're up to 10. So 9 states, you need a photo ID. 10 states, you don't need photos. That's only 19 out of the 50 states where you need any photo ID or any ID at all. So then the rest of these are photo ID requested, which means not required. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. No, that was that one. So what are the strict photo? So I guess none of these are strict non-photo.
And then
ID.
no.
So we just have the strict photo ID and the photo ID requested. Okay, so my bad. There's 9 states where it is strict photo ID. The rest of these either have a photo ID requested or ID requested but photo not required. And a bunch of these are no document required to vote. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, Jersey. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. 24. Half the country does not require any ID. It might be requested. Half of the country does not require photo ID. So maybe no, it's not going to be legal that illegal immigrants can vote. But that doesn't mean they're not going to. Anyone said, I live in Kentucky, and I'm always asked for my driver's license. Yeah, where's Kentucky? That is this one, right? Yeah, right up in somewhere in there, right?
Laws required to vote is gray, Adam. Look at that. And then ID required, no photo. Guess what? This is shady ass business. And this is exactly the reason the border is wide open. And if you still are out there thinking it's a humanitarian and there's kids in cages, you're stupid.
Stupid.
Yep. Hey, shout out to Guam Tag. Yeah, pick your head up, boy. You know what it is. Our boy helped us out and said, feed the hoodie, and the hoodie shall be fed. That's right. Every single donation comes with a treat for my boy Morty. Thank you so much. And of course, that makes you the new sponsor of the stream. Thank you so much. Very, very, very much appreciated. And let's keep this party raging.
Because that is the answer right there.
Yeah,
because they know they're losing the black vote. They lost the Jewish vote. They're losing everybody.
I've never understood the no ID thing. Dude, I need to go ID to go into a bar. I need to go ID to buy some liquor. I need to go buy ID to buy some cigarettes. I need an ID to go anywhere. I want to get...
You need an ID to get on a plane.
I need to get
to here to anything. To Orlando.
But in order to vote,
is that crazy?
No ID.
Well, you don't need a voter to get you don't need an ID to get on a plane anymore, as long as you're not American.
He needed. Explain that to me.
By the way,
because IDs are racist. Apparently,
it is strategic though. And FYI, numbers wise, you need how many electoral?
270,
right?
Because Christie's working on it.
Do you know?
Yeah, that's like all this stuff about people being able to vote. We haven't even addressed the congressional aspect of it. Where with the census, if you have 100,000 new people in one city, you'll get some more seats in Congress.
On the states, how many states require no ID? I think it's like 13 or 14. of the 22 states that doesn't require an ID, I think 227 of the electoral are of those states.
Isn't that weird?
Did you get the numbers?
It's the
Hey, shout out to Indie Film, another. So we'll call that no question and no comment, just pure love of the game. And of course, we get that sweet, sweet treat for Morty. Thank you so much. We'll give you the extra cent and make. Oh, did you drop it, Bubba? You dropped it? He dropped it in my foot warmer. Where'd it go? All right, we'll give you this one. All right, look. Here, they're getting a freebie. You guys are getting a freebie. Anybody want to come on up? That would be very much appreciated. Thank you so much. And of course, that makes you the new co-sponsor of the stream. Go and say something. When you're just the only person I give money for their stream on, brother. Thank you, guys. Very, 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 very much.
majority.
That's right. The 227 are from states that don't require documentation.
Oh, so we're screwed.
Well, let me tell you something.
That's it.
Republicans should be thanking their lucky stars or something called the Electoral College. Because if it was a popular vote, you guys would get smoked every single time.
Forget
so be thankful for the Electoral College.
Well, thank God. But I am happy that because Mike, I'm not gonna front, bro. Like I don't know what video your wife's mom or whatever said, and I was just like all of that negative Trump because I had to step back and realize that people were sold on it so much because everything told you, CNN, MSNBC, the news, he's evil, he's this, he would do this. It's actually refreshing to see somebody go, holy shit, the grass was cut and now I can see the snakes. Because they're...
Did you guys see him jump down? He just jumped down and he's like, well, now I'm
right in front of your face. And once it hits
how many Rapaports are out there? I think a lot.
Joke's on him because shout out to Soil to Soul with the $5 cash app. More, you want it? You gotta come here. Come on up here. Yeah. There we go. Hey, thank you. We got a triple 3 co-sponsors of the stream, guys. Thank you so much. Okay, you gotta lie down now. No, we gotta let the show. They're not paying just to look at your face. They're paying because I'm doing awesome shit. You gotta lay down. And then we'll get more treats. There we go. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. We'll give you this will be your the message. So the soul says Mississippi has always asked me for an idea as well. I've been driving but still listening. Had to run to the store before it closed. Thank you again. Thank you so much, guys. You are amazing. Let's keep the party raging.
Refreshing to see somebody go, holy shit, the grass was cut and now I can see the snakes. Because they're right in front of your...
a bar. The grass is cut and now I can see the snakes. Similar to Drain the Swamp.
Face. And once it hits
how many Rapaports are out there?
A lot.
I think it's growing. Meaning not you, Mike. He's saying,
yeah, in terms of like people who are on the fence, people who didn't know it was good, people who got caught up in the bullshit and are now realizing that hey, Trump is not actually that bad of an option. I think there's a lot
that are waking up to this. I think it's a growing.
What I mean is, to me, these guys are very similar because I remember first time I talked to Adam, he's like, hey, what if I come join the team Valuetainment and I'm at a phase of my life, and he's in Florida at the time, and I'm in Dallas, Addison. So I came here because we were shooting an ad video for one of our events, which we never ended up using the footage because it was using it on a helicopter, and it was at the same time. So I'm like, I'm not going to use the footage. And then I talked to him. I said, so tell me politically, where are you at? So, I'm like, independent. And I said, so.
Wait. Already? Bro, I just heard that Bosch got caught for being a PDF file, and now an affinity for the equine?
Oh, hell no.
This guy, Jesus Christ.
So how do you feel about Trump? He's like, well, kind of this, and we just it was almost as if like, and I'm like, okay, cool, sounds good. And then you come, you talk, you kind of go through the process. I paid him $1,000 when Biden won on a bet.
I know.
Paid him $1,000. Okay.
A lot of people did.
Yeah. And the point, and then I'll go from there to here. How many people are sitting down saying, I have buyer's remorse. I want my
Mhm.
vote back, or sitting there saying I can't do this again for another 4 years.
And I think what
That's a good distinction too, because if it's not necessarily a regret that everybody has, that some people do feel like, yes, voting for Biden was unfortunately something that I had to do. That doesn't mean that I want to do it again. Interesting distinction.
what I've realized also, and this is something that you're gonna have to deal with as well, is that, dude, you're never gonna love the person. Like if you're voting based on the personality, we would all vote for Justin Trudeau. He's nice. He's good looking.
Nope. There is no way, just based on personality, I would vote for Justin Trudeau. What a baby bitch.
We'd all vote for Gavin because he's got great hair. But policies and personality are totally different. I think Donald Trump's personality is nails on a chalkboard. He speaks, Kamala Harris, that dirty bitch. Like when he speaks, it's so inappropriate. It like the retarded stuff, the McCain stuff. I'm right there with you.
There you go. There's a retarded.
Oh, hell no.
If only there was a joke about ponies being little and making it bigger, and I missed it, but close. Gualtec said, okay, yeah, Vosh is a POS. He made a response and it was exactly what you'd expect. Just looking over the real problem and being arrogant about the small shit. H3 actually did a good video about it. Ooh, see, that's what I'm saying. This is the type of shit that we're going to check out in the after party. Make sure you have joined the Indian Jesus Discord server. And if you are not a member of the YouTube channel, then you will not be able to get into the after party. It's only $3 a month, guys. It is amazing. And ask anybody. I spend way too much goddamn time with y'all. Name another YouTuber you get this much time with for $2.99 a month. I mean, come on.
But if you can look past the personality and look at the policies, that's what it matters for. You look at Joe Biden. People hate on Joe Biden. I'm like, he's just like an old, senile, nice guy. He's not some cruel, evil dictator. Like, I don't get the hate. I get that he's old and he's decrepit, and you called him
a cadaver Joe.
A cadaver Joe. Nice.
Another stroke.
Another good one.
I mean, that's the
Good
Lord.
one. But when you look at the policies and the open border and the taxes and the LGBTQS DEI driven ESG doctrine, it's just
Yup.
hard.
Well, technically, it wasn't debunked in the sense he was mocking a disabled guy. What had happened was he didn't know the guy was disabled, and he was just doing a random whatever that happened to be similar to the disability. There we go. The disability that the guy had. So, but yes, that has been explained a good bazillion times.
To just be like, I want more of that, baby. So I'm a I've had to learn, Michael Rapaport. This was not me. I was just like, I can't deal with Trump. Fuck him. But no, you have to look at things and be like, yeah, as much as he is nails on a chalkboard, you have to go policy.
I think you're gonna decide for yourself privately when you're by yourself, nobody is around, and you'll evaluate what's most important policy for you, and then
and vote for Trump. Hey, shout out to Animal Instinct. Welcome to the party. Said I disagree with that guy. I prefer Trump's personality over Newsom, Trudeau, or Biden. They're all fake as fuck. That's I think the implication was if they were being genuine, that if they were really that guy, that's what I think he's saying. That if Newsom really was that nice guy, if Trudeau really was that nice guy, if Biden really was that old grandpa that we all love, that would be one thing. But the fact is, we know, again, to what I was talking about before, is that we know now that that's not the case. They did a very good job for a very long time of convincing us that they were those people. And it took a Donald Trump to come in and show that nobody at this level is like that. And I may not be the bastion of politeness or anything like that, but nobody up here is. They're just pretending. Yeah, that's it. It's just that they're just pretending. It was that they never were who they purported themselves to be. And what Vinny was saying is, if they were that guy, then I think we would all want, in terms of personality, we would all want the type of personality that a Gavin Newsom portrays, or the personality that a Justin Trudeau portrays. Not who they actually are, but who they portray. If that was a real person, and that was somebody willing to be in government and do this, that, and the other, great. But as Trump has shown, none of those people. There's arguably a zero overlap between good people and politicians. And so it's just don't make perfect the enemy of good, because, and especially in politics, you're not getting perfect.
Around, and you'll evaluate what's most important policy for you, and then you'll adjust accordingly. We still got a long ways to go. You said it right. We're February right now.
The game hasn't even started.
Yeah.
This is like the pregame.
Before we get into it, so last time on Tuesday, we announced anybody that buys
all right. So this one is will Michelle Obama run to prevent Trump from seeking revenge?
How ugly do you think it's going to get the next few months?
Bad.
Define bad.
In regard to Trump, Biden, I mean, it's gonna be bad. I think it would be, to be totally honest, I think it'd be worse if Trump ran and doesn't win. I think people are gonna go nuts.
So if Trump runs and doesn't win, is that the worst case scenario? I think the worst case scenario is that for some reason Trump's not allowed to win, or not allowed to run, rather. That's the worst case scenario. I think all bets are off. People are like, fuck this. We're not, y'all aren't playing by the rules. We're not playing by the rules either. But I think if Trump is allowed to run, he's on the ballot, all 50 states, and he loses, I think a lot of people, especially myself included, I think a lot of people are going to be less willing to perpetuate this idea. Well, no, he really did win in two different elections, but it was stolen from him. Even if that's what ends up happening, that's not a hill I'm willing to die on. It's just too much too much. I don't know, but like, how do you make that argument? And it's like, maybe we just got to take the L and move forward from here. Worry about Vivek, worry about Carrie Lake, worry about America First, worry about that stuff. Yeah, but I do think that is I think that is the end of America if he doesn't win. I think that's the end of America.
Ran and doesn't win. I think people are gonna go nuts. Because I think his core group of supporters are more prone to, I think the Biden people are more screaming, yelling, crying, but the other people are more like, yo, we're gonna fucking take over that kind of mentality. So I don't want any of that. Nor does anybody, but that I think, would be a concern if he lost, even fair and square.
Well, what evidence do you have that his people might get upset and do something about it? I can't think of anything that they've ever done.
Something about this. Well, Dr. J wore number 6. Yeah. It was a month. It was before this month.
I can't think of anything that they've ever done that when they get upset.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, it's gonna be wild.
So Nikki Haley, I'm curious to know what you think about this. So, do you think it'll ever get to a time where one of the states will, separate and become its own country in America?
So the Soul says, I don't know if America First will get off the ground if Trump doesn't win. I feel it could be the end as well. That gray pill gets darker and darker thinking about it. Not gonna lie. I'm not sure that I agree, because as we've been saying for so long, Trump is a symptom. And so if he doesn't win, that definitely makes it harder, but it also will focus the entire right of center, that entire demographic. I think if he wins, it'll be good because we'll be able to slow down the wokeness and keep that snowball from rolling. But if he is in office, or rather he's not in office, then that is going to, that puts everybody in the conservative, Republican, American First, MAGA. Everybody is in the same camp at that point. So I disagree with you. I think that arguably, for the movement specifically itself, Trump losing could be the best thing for the movement, not for Americans, not for the country, not for us, but specifically in terms of what will create the most support for an America First caucus. I think Trump losing the election would be it. So I'm going to disagree with you there. Woodrow said, I guess this bellend forgot the summer of love. They always conveniently do. Conveniently. And he said, apparently the undercover feds were upset on J6 also. Yeah, right? And one thing said, how is it legal for Democrats to just be able to swap out Biden for Newsom or Michelle Obama? Wouldn't have to be Harris or a primary need to be held? In terms of the actual civics, I do not know, but there are very many ways that they can, so for the first thing they need to do is get Biden out of the way. So they can 25th Amendment. He can't be the president. Now Kamala's the president. And so now, because they already don't have a primary, I think if Biden comes up ineligible, that creates the process that even if they wanted to get Biden out and they didn't have a primary, they can't do that. And I think the fact that him being ineligible, like, they can't not have a candidate, so they have to have a candidate. And a lot of people are talking about how the party itself is dying to get Biden out of the way, but Biden still thinks he's in the 90s and thinks, oh, I can do this, man. We're doing great. I'm gonna run again. And especially with the news conference on Sunday, where just people are losing control of what they have. And I mean, he's not a spry old man, so he can't do too much. But if he gets in front of cameras and says a thing, that's not the thing, man. He said it.
Will separate and become its own country in America?
No.
You think that's going to happen in our lifetime?
No.
Tell me why.
Because it's just not a feasible thing. That one of the no. Is that what she's talking about?
Like Texas. No, she's saying it's not possible, but there's discussion about the fact that Texas is so sick and tired of the fact that they're trying to protect the border and Biden's administration is getting involved. So for some states to say, look, we're going to do it ourselves. We don't need you anymore.
That's not going to happen. It's just the founding fathers. It's just not going to happen. It just can't happen. Texas, it's the most American state. It's not
right. But is America as American anymore? And I said it would be best if Biden runs. Michelle Obama, Whitmore, or Newsom would be harder for Trump to beat. I agree. Yeah, I definitely agree. I especially just because of the novelty of, like, ooh, look, somebody else who's not Trump. I think anybody they could put in there is going to get that bump on top of anything that they say.
Not going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen. You think that could actually happen, PBD?
I don't know if I think it's going to happen or not. I think.
So before he continues, I would agree that to say, I don't know if it's reasonable to say it's going to happen or not, but definitely it's not unreasonable to say it would happen. Make America Texas again. Let's fucking go. I think they already use that, don't they?
Texas is most American. Bingo. But Texas is saying, you guys are no longer American.
I told you. What did I tell you? Didn't I tell you? Because I told you.
I know all. I know everything. I have all the answers. I'm never wrong.
You're France.
Exactly.
I think
you're France. He said you're France. Oh my God. He said you're France. You know, the freedom fries.
Texas is saying California's France. The other way around. Texas is saying we're following the founders. You're not. You know, we're being American.
I hear
You're being European.
I hear you. This still doesn't mean they're going to be their own country. It's just not going to happen.
But
that's not an argument. You just saying things like, well, that doesn't mean that they're going to do that. They're just not. And anything else to add to that, sir?
But you said it's going to get very ugly.
Yes.
Do you think it's going to get ugly to the point where, you know, Trump's camp is going to come out and say, you want to do this? No problem. We're going to flip 6 states, and here's what we're going to turn it into. That's going to be its own country. Like, you don't think it's going to get that ugly? Because J6 wasn't ugly.
Yeah,
J6,
agreed.
a lot can say was ugly, but not
as ugly as what you're talking about.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to get that bad. I think they're and not before the election. It wouldn't make sense for either Texas or California to be like, all right, we're out of here right before you might have, you know, some political gain. So I don't think between now and November either of these states is going to secede. But in terms of, you know, clashes and rallies and protests and riots and I don't know.
Yeah,
You're talking about civil war.
I'm talking purely to the point where, because I'm thinking that's where you're going. If you're saying it's going to get ugly, that means one side is saying, screw you, you let 20 million people in, we will never be able to win again.
Yep.
This will be a Democrat vote for the next 20, 30, 40 years. You're going to turn us into Europe. We're going to be losing our voices, and I'm not having this. I'm not going to live in a country like this.
God forbid that happens. You know, that's crazy if something like that happens, and it's.
Yes, Michael, it is crazy. Welcome to the conversation. That's what we're talking about. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Like that kind of thing. I mean, you know, as I've gotten older, you know, anything is possible. You know, there's been a lot of things that have happened, you know, in my adult life that you never thought that the towers would come down. You know, there's a lot of things that I never thought would happen. God forbid that happens.
Yes, so it's something that would be crazy that would happen. And what we're talking about is the reasons why we think it would or would not happen. Not the fact that it is, in fact, crazy for it to happen.
You know, that's a dangerous thing, you know. If that
Brilliant commentary.
Happen.
It's just, I mean,
and this is the level. Again, remember that this is somebody who gives his political opinions online. Not, you know, that's not all he does, but people listen to him. People share his videos. People watch his videos. They resonate with his videos, and this is the level of thought that he has. I'm not saying everybody has to be you know, D&D and Jesus. I'm not saying everybody has to know everything about everything. I'm obviously joking about that. I don't know, but it's this low information voters that behave as if they have a lot more information. They have a lot of influence, but they don't have a lot of information. Anyone else says you got to cut Michael some slack here, though, because this is obviously something that's never been in his bubble. And that's fair, but that's why I'm saying you should be in the position of maybe I don't need, I mean, like, I'm glad that he's here having the conversation because we can gain from it. But maybe it wasn't ideal in terms of your political brand to go on a political podcast the day after you realized you'd been lied to. So I agree with you. But this is again, taking it back to what is the average person going to think? Well, it's like the average person doesn't care about, well, this has been his bubble, that's been his bubble. The average person has been listening to say, Donald Trump sucks, Donald Trump sucks, Donald Trump sucks, he's horrible, he's this and that, and thinking that he's an authority. And that's his level of of articulation on why states might or might not secede. So no, I do not have to cut him any slack there.
Because think about it though, because if the people realize that they're getting screwed over, like Hillary tried cheating in 2016, 2020 was some shady ass shit.
Was it?
But think about this, Mike. 2020, if
I
really
think he lost,
really was it? Yes, it was.
I hold on, but hear me out.
He lost.
But let me say my piece. In 2020, the Democrats had 40 or 50 FBI agents at Twitter, no joke, had offices there working to stop any negative stories about Joe Biden or Hunter, which they did a poll that they said, what percentage of people would have not voted for Joe Biden if that happened? Do you remember the number?
It's a big number.
So Mike,
But that being said, he still lost. However they played the game, it's dirty game. But he did lose.
I agree
think
with
that
Michael
it was the
on this.
biggest push, and that's why when
So do I. I agree as well that politics is dirty. They played a dirty game and they won a dirty game. They're just trying to act like they didn't play a dirty game. They won a clean game, and that is not what happened.
Joe got the amount of votes and Trump got the amount of votes, because I think
You will never in a million years convince me that 80 million people said, yes, I want Joe Biden to be the leader of the free world. Never will you convince me that that is a reality.
everybody came out. I do not think everybody's coming out again. And I do not think like every last American is going to vote.
Fully agree.
Yeah.
But
why wouldn't, hold on. Let me get on camera for this. Hold up. Because this argument doesn't make sense. Why wouldn't we have seen those types of numbers with Hillary and Trump before we knew what Trump was? When people like me thought that if Trump won, that it was going to be the end of the world. That is the only vote I've ever cast. So talking about people coming out, no, it was 2016 when people came out because they felt like they had to. The only rational explanation for the amount of votes in 2020 was the mail-in, the mass mail-in ballots. And like, to some extent, yes, there is a point to be made that like it's not shady to just get more people to vote. I get what you're saying, but when you know that the people who are not voting, who will vote because there's a mail-in ballot sent to their fucking face, are going to vote Democrat because of the fact that they're low information and not because they've studied things and have determined that Democrat policies are better. When you know that, then it's disingenuous to be like, well, more people are voting, and that's a good thing. I don't think it's that simple. And Evelyn said Trump was a better candidate in 2020 versus 2016 because he had a record. Yep. MS69 said it's the opposite this year. More people will be voting this year from 2020 or 2016. Because I think, yeah, I think between the three, between 2020, and 2024, I would imagine that 2020 would have the lowest number. There was the lowest stakes, right? Yeah, there was the lowest stakes that we already knew. Yeah. So we already knew so 2016, the stakes were so high because, oh my God, it's Donald Trump, the end of the world. And then 2024 again, now we have, it's like, he's still on this stolen election. It's going to be whatever. But on this side, we're also like, hey, if they keep him out, then clearly they're never going to let another, they might let another Republican, but never anybody outside the Uniparty ever again. So this idea that, because listen to what he's saying.
I agree with Michael.
It was the biggest push. And that's why when, Joe got the amount of votes and Trump got the amount of votes, because I think everybody came out. I do not think everybody's coming out again.
What is the thing that is making you say, oh, when 2020 compared to 2016, a bunch of people came out? No, that doesn't make sense. We had more information. In 2020. So the idea that people are flooding out of fear and mystery and ignorance, that would be 2016. And what happened in 2016? Donald Trump became president of the United States of America. I rest my case, Your Honor.
And I do not think like every last American is going to vote.
Fully agree.
Yeah.
But that being said, this narrative, and also if there was somebody in Trump's here, stop with the fake election, rigged election. We got cheated last time. You lost. Muhammad Ali lost to Joe Frazier in the Garden.
Yeah, I agree. Even if, like, regardless of what happened in 2020, let's move forward. There is so much shit to talk about. There's so much bullshit from just the Biden administration, and there's so much bullshit to talk about the cultural left in general that you do not need to focus on warp speed, and you do not need to focus on the 2020 election. I definitely agree with that. Hey, shout out to Kelly Green in the building. Welcome to the party. Can't believe this cocksucker turned sides. That's awesome, but what? I agree with you. But we want to welcome people into our movement, just like I am welcoming you to the party. Good to see you, brother. So the Soul said, God, doesn't it feel like a lifetime worth of shit has happened between 2015 and now? Like, I'm tired, boss. Yeah, I mean, oof. Yeah. Yes.
15 rounds. Everybody fucking loses. You got to accept, he lost that election. It's not like every single court and they tried. There's no proof of it. We got to move on from that. And I think it's a bad look for the Republican Party, and it's a ridiculous look for him to still be talking about that.
So when I say 2015 liberal, I just kind of mean that what the default liberal positions were as of 2015, that we hated big pharma, we were against the establishment, that punk rock was cool, and just that being kind of skeptic and against the system, that the Republicans were the stodgy men in suits, and the Democrats were the other side. And I mean, now it's flipped. Now it's the conservative party, the America First portion of America, that has that fuck you, I won't do what you tell me. And I haven't moved that much. I've been again, aside from guns and maybe like some basic economy stuff, like like the minimum wage. I used to be, we need to raise the minimum wage, and but other than that, I've had the same opinions that I've had since 2015. So Rage Against the Machine still did what their name was. Yep. Yeah, that's a good time. When Rage Against the Machine is doing what their name says, that is the time when whatever liberal means at that point, that's what we're talking.
That look for the Republican Party, and it's a ridiculous look for him to still be talking about that.
But I think two things can be true at once. What Vinny's saying about Twitter, and the New York Post, and the
Twitter's
Hunter
a
Biden
shithole.
thing, and the misinformation and the disinformation, and the suppression. That is a separate conversation than the actual counting of the votes.
But do you,
if you want to count the votes,
Twitter's a piss
he
off.
lost. If you want to say, well, if it weren't for all this, these votes would have been different.
And I think they pushed him in with the vote, the suppression going into it. But I think that's just part of the game. It's like, like if you could get away with holding at the offensive line, you're holding. But
I agree. And that's the part that, like, politics is this game that it is the game of the rules. So if you can get around the rules in such a way that's not really getting around the rules, like y'all are making the rules. Did that make any sense? I feel like you guys got me, but it's hard to articulate. Did that make any sense?
I think the Russia. I think some of that was real on the Facebook and all that shit.
Nope.
But like this fucking guy still, sorry to curse, he's still talking about the rigged election. I was like, come on, man. There's no rigged election.
But don't forget.
Well, there was, but it just doesn't matter anymore. It just doesn't matter anymore. There was. It just doesn't matter anymore.
And he was also talking about a rigged election when he won in 2016.
Well, he did, but it was
you live
rigged.
by the sword, you die by the sword.
He needs a new script writer.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, I mean, he doesn't trust any. I wouldn't trust anybody, especially with 2016. But
trust nobody, trust nothing, believe nothing, except that anything is possible.
But at the same token, I would rather have nuts behind the wheel right now than. By the way, let's say CEOs. Let's say Pat. There's two CEOs, Mike. You're a CEO and he's a CEO. Would you rather have a boss that is loud, brash, whatever? But guess what? The building is protected. We get fucking paid.
100%.
Or ready for this? The guy that's talking nice, but the shit is on fire.
100%.
I want that guy. But Mike, I'm not saying. Don't get me wrong.
And it really is that simple. It really is that simple. Like it's not like you can make the argument like, well, in that situation it would be, but Biden's not so bad and Trump's not so great. But on the things that matter, they are. They do. Biden sucks so terribly bad. And Trump is really, really, really good. Guam said, for following all this nonsense since 2012, I can say that it feels like a lifetime of ramping up political tension. I'm just happy to finally see a switch incoming. Hopefully.
That to me is election interference, is the cheating with Twitter. But the mail-in ballot situation with all the shit that I saw and that overnight jump, I'm just saying, hold on, can you blame a guy for not trusting a party that was cheating with Hillary on 2016 and he still beat that bitch?
I don't like when people say he's crazy, he's nuts. I don't think he is. I think that's the wrong.
Is crazy.
Is he an egomaniac? Is he a narcissist? Is he thin-skinned? Sure, all that. But he's not crazy to think that the media is after him. He's not.
I crack myself up. Shout out to Soil to Soul.
Crazy to think the deep state is after him.
Of course.
Because they are.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, so two things again can be true. This is why it's not black and white. There's a lot of gray area going on here.
There's a few things that could happen that can make his life very hard. If the border gets fixed by the end of the year, if they fix it, Trump's chances go lower.
But I don't think that, because like they definitely could have created an issue to be able to solve the issue, but I don't think that's what happened. I think they're legitimately trying to get as many people in as possible. So I don't see that happen.
If the economy gets better, dramatically gets better, that decreases his chances. If they shut down the border and they just close it up and no more people coming in, it'll hurt Trump. If they put in Newsom and Michelle, it'll hurt Trump.
Michelle's not doing this.
You know what they just did last week, 2 weeks ago? So
And again, Michelle's not doing this. What the fuck do you think you know, bro? What is it that you think you know? You have no fucking idea. What is it that you think you know? Michelle ain't doing this. You don't know anything. Where does the confidence come from?
Obama's side, they send out fillers, asking donors. What do you think about the? You didn't hear about this last week? What do you?
Of course not. Of course you didn't hear about it. But that opinion is strong as ever.
Think about the possibilities, the prospects of Michelle Obama. Would you support her?
Hey, talking about support and keeping the party raging. Guam Tech doing the damn thing. Oh, let's get rid of this. Let's do. Oh, wait. And of course, our treat for Morty. Yummy. Thank you. Everybody put Guam Tech in the chat. Thank him for keeping the party raging. We are about to end. And then he kept it going. What does he say here? Guam Tech said, this channel is so nice. Had to do it twice. Thank you, sir. And of course, now that makes you the sole sponsor of the stream. Thank you. I'm gonna try just my initials. IJ. I don't know. TIJ usually works. I don't know why. I've seen IJ all the time. I don't know. They're being weird with that shit. But thank you again, Guam Tech. Let's keep this raging.
And Obama did that with people out there. Do you have that story, Rob, to pull it up?
Of course they would.
Yeah. So to see what she would do, because they're trying to get somebody that can replace Kamala. They know they can replace Biden. They don't know how to replace Kamala. And if they had a Newsom Michelle, that's a real interesting race there. If they announce at DNC, it's Newsom Michelle, and Adam always says Vegas odds president.
Newsom is the president, her is vice?
Whichever one, vice versa.
No, she's not going to do vice.
I agree that Michelle Obama, with no political experience, wouldn't be the vice president. The only way that it would work if they were going to do that is to bring her in and be the Trump of the left, in the sense that she's the outsider. Even though her husband was there, she was doing all this stuff with sugar and fitness and all of that. So she's an outsider. That's what they're going to try to use.
Exactly what I said.
She's not going to do the president either, because as cute as it sounds and as egotistical as it sounds,
I remember this. So what did everybody say about Trump and about why he certainly wasn't going to or he wasn't running seriously in the beginning, and then that he wasn't going to run again? Then he didn't need to, right? Let's see if this sounds anything similar.
Do the president either, because as cute as it sounds and as egotistical as it sounds, she and her husband know that even if she did snap her fingers and I think she would win, you have to do the job. And she does not want to do the job.
I think so, maybe.
That's exactly what they said about Trump. Well, he's got all this money. Why would he do that? Because the motherfucker actually did care about being the president. Whether or not he cared about, fixing your personal life, no, he didn't. He doesn't give a fuck about you. But absolutely, he cared about his legacy, including fixing America. Make America great again.
Why would you want
Go
to?
back to it. Michelle Obama may have notified people in 22 of her White House ambition. I plan to run.
I don't believe it.
That's why I don't know why they're doing that. I don't. I don't know. And sometimes they'll do it with super chats too, where like if you say something about it's a pretty common thing to go on other channels and super chat that like, hey, come check me out. Like if you use times, if you use stream, if you use the word or the phrase check me out or something, they're weird. They're weird about it. They are very weird. Amongst the Giants, did anyone see James O'Keefe's latest post? No one in the White House wants Kamala, but they don't know how to get rid of her. No, I did not. Do you have a link of some sort? I would love to check that out. Yeah, right. Just fire. No, that's the thing. Because she's elected, put her in, get her into Kamala, get her into office, and then use some whatever. Like she sucks so much dick. There's definitely somebody they can be like, hey, we're just going to blast this out there if you don't do what we tell you. And what we tell you is to take over the presidency for the rest of the year. And then Michelle or Newsom or whoever. All right. You got me to chuckle. And I don't remember what I was saying. So shout out to Vosh and to Guam Tech. All right. What are we talking about here?
Obama may have notified people in 22 of her White House ambition. I plan to run.
I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I think they know they did this for 8 years. They know the grind of it.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Why would she do it?
But let me ask you.
I've never been in the Michelle Obama camp. I've never been in the Michelle Obama's running for president camp.
Let me ask you a question.
I don't get it.
Let me ask you a question. How much of becoming a president on the Democratic side, hear me out, how much of being a president on the Democratic side do you think is you getting picked or you saying, I'm going to be a president? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay. How much of it do you think is the first one over the second one?
So before he answers that, Soil says, at this point, Kamala seems more of a problem than anyone in a way. Yeah. I wonder if she would get JFK'd before anyone else, actually, in the sense that people talk about it happening to Trump. I don't think she has enough leverage. I think that, they're at the stage where they're like, come on, please. And they're like trying to negotiate. That's what my speculation. But I don't think she's important enough. I mean, maybe. I'm thinking, because she's not important, it would be very easy to be like, oh, she tripped. And of course we didn't get it on camera. I don't know. Maybe. Viewed on Dr. Drew, but it's not on the site. It's not yet. All right. Well, definitely have to keep a lookout for that.
I would. Oh, go ahead, Michael.
You getting picked.
So meaning, for example, you and your wife, and we come and we say, hey, we'd like to have a meeting with you Thursday night at 7:00.
Yeah. You take me for a nice meal.
And we're going to say, Michael.
You pick me, but you send in a car. You send a car to pick me up.
The car's coming, Mike.
You come to our place, private room, penthouse. We're sitting there. You walk
Sushi
up.
chef?
Yes.
Anything you want. We would know what you like food-wise.
Like? Tell us what you like.
A nice sushi chef.
Oh,
That's done.
What's your favorite sushi?
Okay.
But restaurant?
Yeah. Nobu.
I mean, there's a bunch of them. Nobu, Sugarfish is very
Sugarfish is dope on Ventura.
What are we talking about?
Just it's straight down the middle.
What
There's
about
other places that are more exotic?
Noshimoto.
Yeah.
You call it?
Yeah.
Yoshinoya.
Yoshinoya.
Yeah.
He's confused. So, okay.
Masahisu.
I'm
What
confused.
percentage you think the party comes to you and says, hey, we want you to run and you're going to run and we got money for you?
That works for me and my beautiful wife. But we haven't been president before. So Barack and Michelle Obama, They know the grind. They're living. They're producing.
But hear me out
movies on
where
Netflix.
but I want you to know where I'm going with
She
it.
gets to make a choice.
No, I don't think so.
See, that's what I'm saying.
hear me out.
I don't. I think they go, yo, we need you.
Yeah.
You're going.
Yeah, I agree. I think that, you know, all of our whatever is about the idea that there's this establishment that you're not, you know, like you only get to the White House by doing so many favors that the establishment can call on any of these people to do any of these things. There's no like, oh, I'm good guy. Like, no. They tell you you have to do the thing, and you do the thing. Otherwise, whatever you did to get where you were in the first place, they are, you know, gonna blow your shit up.
You know, she doesn't need anybody to say we need you. She understands what's going on.
Yeah, but I guess the question I'm
No. Oh, Mikey. It's not that she doesn't understand. It's that, as you are saying, she doesn't want to, but they will blackmail her. It's so adorable. These lefties have no clue. Well, she understands. Yeah, no shit. We're talking about blackmail.
yeah,
You're going.
She doesn't need anybody to say we need you. She understands what's going on.
yeah, but I guess the question I'm asking, guys, the question I'm
60-40, Pat.
you're saying 60-40 what?
Saying 60-40, the establishment comes in and says you've been chosen.
You run a poll. I want
40% buy-in.
So let's just say they
We
come
do a
to
poll?
Yeah.
All right, let's do a poll. Is Big Mike gonna go?
you. By the way, I'm kind of with you. I think it's more them coming to you than I'm gonna go be a president.
I agree.
I think there's a lot of guys that say I'm gonna go be a president, and you don't even know their first name,
Sit down,
right?
buddy.
Yeah, and they just don't have it. You can have that. You know, aspirations are great, but I'm gonna be an NBA star, 6-inch vertical leap, bro.
All right, guys, we have a brand new poll. Replay gang, let me know in the comments below. Is Big Mike going to get called on by the establishment for 2024? Not is she gonna want to? Is the establishment going to call on Michelle Obama to run for president for 2024? Yes or no? Let me know in the comments below.
Go bold. You're gonna be okay. But okay, so if that's the case, if Obamas were chosen, those same people that came knocking on their door to president, 2-term, are gonna come back and say, look, guys, if you believe in that, now here's the second question. What's the likelihood of those same guys who are not your friends? They're not best friends with you. These are not the type of people that go to dinner with you to get close to you.
Yes.
These are power players.
I'm going to get the good meal.
You will get the good meal. It's going to be very good food. But these are the guys that intentionally keep distance from you so they can be a bad person to you. And you can't be any emotional about it because, listen, we don't have a relationship, okay? What are the likelihood of them coming and saying the following, of this conversation taking place? Hey, Michelle, it's party before country, and your party needs you right now.
Do it, or the dick pics are released. Do it, or you getting railed by some dude who has I mean, shout out to Vosh. You getting railed by a horse. Would you put money on the fact that that picture doesn't exist? Would you put money on the fact that there is no such picture of a horse fucking Michelle Obama? Genuine question. I'm not putting that money down. I don't think that exists, but I'm not putting that money down.
Because if we don't, Trump's going to get elected. And we've ran 200 surveys. We've ran the numbers. We ran analytics. And the only two that works to win is you as a president, Newsom as a VP. We know you don't want to do this because you have a great life. But if you don't, Trump's going to get elected. And if you don't, those three things that nobody knows, we would have to leak it. Wow. We don't want to, but we would have to leak it. We would prefer to be easier. We can have you only be a 1-term, but because after the 1-term, we can have somebody else come in. But we need you to come in right now because we don't have anybody more qualified than you.
Why would that not be the case? So this is I just don't see most people accepting it. I guess the establishment could, but even they aren't blind to what most people think. From what I see, Even low information voters are done with the family dynasty stuff running this country. I don't think most people think of the Obamas as a family dynasty. I'm even if I agree, I mean, I genuinely agree that people have this sentiment, but I do not think that people put the Obamas in that category. So I think they bypass this entirely, especially the left. Like, it's just their guy, and now they're getting Obama back. I think it's just that simple.
To be the VP, okay? So what's an anti-establishment candidate? Like, I don't think you can do that with, Kennedys. I don't think you can do that with Trumps. I don't think you can do that with RFK. I don't think you can do that with the anti-establishment guy.
And Film said, did you catch the DNC in his hypothetical saying, we don't have anybody more qualified than you? Sad but true. Good point. Good point. They really don't. They really don't have anybody. So said it would be the inception of it all over again, would it not? I mean, I'm not saying it would be a good thing. I'm saying I don't think people would be like, oh no, we can't have another family dynasty. They'd be like, oh, thank God, Obamas, get the Obamas back. I don't think they see I don't think they see Biden as connected, or rather Biden's presidency as connected to the Obamas as closely as it probably is, definitely is. And I don't think that they see Michelle Obama coming after Barack Obama. I don't think that they see that as the same type of thing as a Bush Senior, Bush Junior, Jeb, Hillary Clinton. I don't think they see it that way. I don't think they see it that way.
But the establishment guy, you know what they're saying? It's you vow, hey, party before
anything.
Anything.
Yep.
So if it's party before anything, that means if we're going to need you later on, you're going to have to come campaign. You're going to have to come to this. And that includes if later on you got to kind of run again, because it's pretty bad. Because you know what's going to happen if Trump gets elected?
What?
Do you know the first term Trump got in? What did he really do?
On his first term?
What did Trump really do to Hillary? What did Trump really do to anybody?
Nothing really.
Actually, think about how you know how you say his bark is
bigger than his bite.
So he said you'd be in jail.
Yeah.
She never went to jail. He never went after her.
Yeah.
So he never did nothing.
Would you be concerned if Trump got? I know we're staying on Michelle, the potential, but would you be concerned with all his resentment and anger towards all these people? If he did win, that would be his agenda, and it would sort of, just get revenge on everybody.
Bro, what the fuck do you think we're hoping for? As we all agree, he didn't do that much in his first term. Significantly because of COVID, but he didn't get a lot of time to do what he wanted to do. So that whole thing about revenge is what we're counting on. And again, the fact that you don't understand that this is what people want. They want Trump's revenge. Who are you talking to? Who are you not talking to? That you think this is I mean, it's a reasonable question, but I don't get it. Shout out to Stephanie Miller. Welcome to the party. Said I highly doubt it, but I've seen things I thought I never thought I would. Unfortunately, true. Welcome to the party. We also got JL in the building. Welcome to the party. Michael Rapaport, the raging never Trumper, is now like, Trump might be kind of all right. And he was just asking about, would you be afraid about his revenge? Yeah, right. Exactly. That's the point. That's the fact that Trump is this big bad thing, and if he's mad, he might do. What about the rest of corporate America? What about any other politician? So I think I know now why New Yorkers think the way they do. Yep. And Emil said, I'm hoping that Trump will have the attitude that I need to fix this country again to prove what I can do. And then I'm going to eliminate all of these ABC agencies and drain this swamp. Exactly. That's what we are. That's what we are hoping for. We're hoping for. You're goddamn right. It's a rematch. Trump versus the establishment, part 2. So I'll run this back, and then I agree with that. Still, Chrissy Meyer, she should have you on sometime. Yeah, I'd be down. Shout out to that. Dilly dilly to you, brother.
Dilly, 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 dilly.
I don't really have I mean, I don't know Michelle Obama. That's the answer to that question, because the what you're asking is, how do I feel about Michelle Obama being in politics? And I don't like it because I don't know who she is. She is a fabrication of the image that was the wife of Obama, which was a fabrication of who is Barack Obama. So I don't know who those people are. They might be very nice people. I don't know who they are, despite being in office for 8 years. I know their character, their caricature. So because of that, I don't feel like I would be comfortable, having anything to do with them. You know, she's a black woman and a liberal. She will be a media angel. Yep. And so that's kind of what they're talking about is she's coming back in.
With all his, I know we're staying on Michelle, the potential, but would you be concerned with all his resentment and anger towards all these people? If he did win, that would be his agenda, and it would sort of, just get revenge on everybody.
Let's do it.
If in the following way, if he gets in, he'll fire Ray, he'll replace Powell, he'll get rid of a lot of guys that he doesn't like, that he sees as establishment, and if he gets the right people in that are able to find out. Remember when the Twitter files was coming out and we were learning that the FBI was in on it, and they were saying, you can't do this, you can't do that. If we get the FBI files, if we get CIA.
Excuse me, indie film. How dare you disrespect this amazing black woman? Okay? She was the first lady.
How dare you?
You're a racist. You must be racist. Only a racist. Sorry, I couldn't go anywhere. Jay said, I take it that the flag is very important, speaking as a non-American. You're goddamn right. You're goddamn right. There's a video I did when I was still doing the video reactions. So I just put out my 200th live stream clip. Shout out to you guys. Thank you so much for sharing those clips, watching those clips, liking those clips, commenting, all that stuff. That has really, 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 really done a lot to grow the channel. But before I was doing those, I was doing standalone reaction videos. And shout out to Daniel Cabrera, who showed me this video that talked about the national anthem. And, we kind of take it for granted, but they were talking about the story of the national anthem. And, that line, like, and our flag was still there. And like, when you actually take a look at like what was going on and what that flag meant, and the fact that, this tiny group of people were fucked, but they raised the flag. They were like, fuck it. We're fighting this. We're going to, go down trying if we have to. And they succeeded is the story of what this country is about. So yes, the flag is everything. It is everything. It is a symbol for everything that everywhere else is not. Everything that's good about America is symbolized by the flag. Punkuter said if all being qualified for POTUS was smiling, waving, and having a penis, she'd be a shoo-in. She's got them all. She's got them all.
CIA files, meaning if somebody goes in and shows like how dark it is in these institutions, and he finds out that the Baracks and the Hillarys and the Michelle, he really, really finds out, I think it's going to be vengeance.
Yeah. So Jay says it can't say the same for us about the you're Canadian, right? The Canadian flag, and that's something I think. That's something I think I've got to dig into and maybe find an interesting conversation or a speech or something, and show that like there is so much value in the not worship, but the just the respect of the symbols that we have in our nation's history. Hey, shout out to Jay. Morty indeed does need his snacks. All right, let me go this way. Let me go this way. All right, and there you go, buddy. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And the party rages on.
Yeah, if it gets to that level.
Is that good for the country?
I don't think it is. But what I'm saying to you is if he goes in and just wants to get the job done and he does what he does with the economy and then gets another person to come in and be there for 8 years, great. But for me, from the standpoint of ask the question the other way. Ask the question the other way.
Huh?
What if he doesn't find out? What if another person from the establishment is still running America? What if another person from the establishment is still in the White House? What do? They keep using the weapon, the justice, the DOJ to weaponize against anybody they want. And what does that mean? Somebody you support later on? A candidate you support later on?
Yep.
And that is not a country you want to be living in. It is not a place you want to be in because that.
Yeah, I mean, and we don't know. We genuinely, anybody who tells you that they know that this is or is not the case is lying to you. There very well may be a specific, cohort of people that are pulling the strings and whatever, and that they just had to kind of take a step back while Trump was in, and then they reassumed things. If they tell you that is, or is that, or it's not that, they're lying to you because we just do not know. Hey, shout out to Guam Tech out sponsoring himself. Oh my goodness. He said it's been a good week. Well, you are oh, sorry, bud. We gotta show it, everybody. Yeah, there we go. But it's been a good week. Share the wealth. I very, 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 very much appreciate that. All of you guys. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So very much. And of course, Guam Tech out sponsoring himself. Still the sponsor of the stream. Thank you, brother. Very, very much appreciated.
At that point, your voice doesn't matter.
Right.
You're nobody at that point. So regardless, he didn't do anything on first term. So you have to ask why. He either didn't do it because he wanted to be softer on first so he gets reelected, or he was just never going to do it, period. It was just a threat.
I think it was more of a threat.
And if that's the case, he gets elected, they're not going to do anything. But if you're Michelle, if you're Barack, if you're Hillary, if you're the establishment on the left, do you think they believe that? I don't think they do.
No.
I don't think they believe what you think.
No.
I think they think he's going to go in and seek vengeance.
I think so.
You understand what I'm saying?
Think so, yeah.
If you believe what you just said you do,
yeah.
If you believe that they believe that he's going to go in to seek vengeance, then Michelle has to go run.
And you just said, too, that you thought he might seek vengeance. But you said if he got... I don't think he needs any more information at this point.
To find out, yeah.
You don't need...
Pretty blatantly obvious.
He's got enough what he needs, and, he's been, everybody's going after him, some valid, some not valid. So he goes in there.
I don't think it'll be like I don't think...
So, Jay says, genuine question. What the fuck has Biden done besides make the West look like a joke in the past 4 years? So not much. There has been some like the infrastructure bill is not bad, getting better the roads and stuff. In terms of trying to correct the economy from COVID, it's got, we are in a better position economically now than we were in COVID. Other than that, not much. Yep. I mean, I want to be fair. Like, definitely, we are. I'm seeing. I just saw gas under $3 for the first time in a long time. There definitely is movement, but exactly, yes, it is absolutely the bare minimum. It is absolutely the bare minimum. You hit the nail on the head, brother.
Think he'll be that aggressive. I think he's gonna come in like you said, fired, you're fired, you're fired. But then guess what though, Michael? I think he's gonna go 100%. Shut the border. Do like he is gonna come in again. Like
saying if Trump wins?
If Trump wins, I think he's gonna obviously fire the people that need to be fired. The people that were the cats that were like behind.
I don't think that's the question.
Wow.
I don't.
And I also don't think it's that obvious because that was, remember, he ran on Drain the Swamp. And our whole thing was, the excuse, the rationalization we give is that he didn't know and he had the wrong people around him and this, that, and the other. And the worst part of the DMs is, I don't know about the DMs, but he pulled up a folder like he did this. And there was a bunch of CP. So that's about the worst of it. Yeah, Central Jersey. I mean, that's typical around here right now. But Central Jersey does happen to have some of the best gas prices in the nation. And I saw one, it was like not like at a BP or a Mobil or a Sunoco or anything like that. It was like one little place. It was $2.99. But it is moving in the right direction. But that's like we should be moving in the right direction a lot faster. There should be a lot more, and there should just be a lot more. What about Cali? What's the gas there? I have no idea. Woodrow said Uncle Bad Touch is taking credit for people going back to work. He didn't create jobs. He just restored a fraction of what Trump built. Yeah, that's the like the unemployment rate has gone down by a lot, but they forced people out of their jobs. So that ain't really a thing, you know? Yeah. Oh gosh. I wonder if there's a way that I can clean up and just take all those retarded children who think that Vosh was somebody to listen to and bring them into our community and be like, guys, I got this. Sit back and pay attention. I got you.
I think that's the question. I'm telling you, that's not the question. I think the question is, the establishment left, how much do they fear Trump getting reelected that he's going to do that?
How much does the establishment left fear Trump getting reelected that they would do that? I don't know, Jay. What do you genuinely think about people who have so again, CP meaning child and PORN. So again, he opened his folder and there was a bunch of pictures of children that everybody could see. So yes, that is bad. So are we
been left? How much do they fear Trump getting reelected that he's going to do that?
How much do they fear that he's going to do that? I think that the establishment left, I don't think is as afraid of Trump as the average liberal voter. Excuse me. So I don't think they're that afraid. I don't think they're that afraid. No. I just want his views, not his name.
A lot.
Well, give me a score between 0 to 100.
100.
Okay, perfect. If that's the
see, again, I think as a voter, that's the perception that 100. We're afraid of Trump 100%. The establishment, though, they're like, hey, we reined him in. And the guardrails of what's the phrase they're using? The guardrails of democracy held in place. So the establishment, I don't think they have that much fear. But anyone says Trump releases the Epstein client list is the greatest fear. I question, the question of Epstein is how high does it go? And I think there's people who could create. I don't think it's unreasonable to say, well, they could definitely do that. They're just like, oh, that's a fake list. They could definitely do that. That's and now that you say that, yeah, that's probably what they would do. But I also think that there's ways for them to be like, you think that you're going to do this, but we're going to do X, Y, and Z. And like they have power. It's the political establishment of the United States of America. So he is scared as a voter, but I don't think the establishment is as scared as the voters.
A lot.
Well, give me a score between 0 to 100.
100.
Okay, perfect. If that's the case, Michelle has to run.
I'm betting you $100. I got 100 here that Michelle's not running.
Yeah.
VP or Prez?
She ain't none of this. She's producing Netflix films.
Yeah, I listen.
It's an easy job producing Netflix.
So Michael does not think so. So she might run.
I'm not. No.
She's not running.
I'll do 100 just to have fun. I don't have fun. But what I'm saying to you is,
big baller. Yeah. So I was saying, the establishment got as much experience with Trump as he did with them. I'm sure they're confident they can make him half impotent once again. Agreed.
If the left wants to win, there's only two people. That's Vegas odds right now.
By the way, Michael,
number one is Trump winning. Two's Biden. Number three is Michelle.
Although Michelle was
They're
down
saying
at the
Michelle
bottom.
is going to run. Vegas knows something.
And mind you, though, Michael, this was a couple months ago.
Yeah.
Damn. So Donald Trump. So I'm not a 5 to is that how you say that? 5 to 6, 40 to 1. Yeah. So 5 to 6 odds on Donald Trump. 15 to 8 on Joe Biden. 11 to 1. So I don't know what's the differential here? Like how much more? Like, so obviously, Gavin Newsom 20 to 1 and Kamala Harris 40 to 1. We could see that these three are in the same range, but like how much different of 11 to 1 and what's the differential there? What would be the, like, how do you do that? Would it just be like multiply by 8? I remember some type of shit, but you know what I mean? I don't know. Yeah, that. No, CP is child explicit content. Yikes is right. Or just, I don't think Michael wants to be under that large of a microscope. We might find some secrets he didn't want to find out. Michael? This Michael? Michael Rapaport? We're talking about Michelle. I'm confused. People's left already. Yeah. Oh yeah. Let's see what the predicted polls are. Predicted. Okay, so DNC. So who will be the presidential nominee? So Joe Biden's up at 73 cents. Down. Newsom is moving up. All these people are moving up. Hillary's even moving up. But wow, they don't even have her on here. That's sus. I feel like she should be on here. There's definitely people who are thinking about it. Can we search something with Michelle Obama? I think we found our next president. Yeah, so the way that it works is the question being who will be the Democratic presidential nominee, and it's out of $1. So basically if you put this into percent. So let's say that you think that Kamala Harris has more than a 9% chance to be the nominee. Then you would want to buy here because you think that's going to go. You buy at 9, it goes up to whatever. And so you would have, back when Biden was assuming more people were in the race, Biden would have been lower. You could buy some, or it's kind of like the stock market. Someone's like 500 on Kamala. Wasted money. Yep. Interesting. But the fact that Michelle Obama is not even on there, the fact that she's not even on there, and the fact that Vegas is, put out odds and it's not on there, I'm just saying. I mean, it's not sketchy. It's just, because it's only about things that will happen. So whatever happens, like the reality of so whoever becomes the nominee is going to be the nominee. And so if you put money on Joe Biden to be the nominee, then you'll win your whatever. But so what did I miss here? So any film said 2024. What? So who's 45 and who's 264? Is that what I think that's what we're talking about, right? I don't know. Okay. All right. Let's stop back here.
Michelle is going to run. Vegas knows something.
And mind you, Michael, this was a couple months ago.
Yeah.
She wasn't even on the top 30, bro. 40. Michelle just jumped up. That's crazy, bro.
I've heard that too. I just don't.
It's still 11-1. Look,
it's still February.
Is it in the realm of possibility? Yes. I've been the biggest proponent that she's not running. There's been no evidence of running. If
the only reason I don't bet on stuff like this is because I have a super addictive personality and I would get into betting everything. All right. So Trump, Biden, Obama. So Trump is 20 to 24, 45, and 264. Wow. Okay. So that's not good odds. Not good odds. But things can change very, very quickly.
If I could pretend to be Joe Biden for a second, and what do you think the conversation?
Exactly, bro. That's exactly why I think I might have said it on Filthy Casual that I was thinking about it because I'm like, yo, I seem to be getting a lot of these right. Maybe I'll just make some money, and then it's just like, oh, I lost. I don't want to do that, but yeah, exactly. Which is, I think Michelle is betting, is on the betting list to convince brain dead lefties to put money on it. Fair enough.
It's easy to say he's dementia. It's easy to say he's an old man. It's easy to say he's a cadaver. It's easy to say he's not really running the country.
Because it's true.
But let's just role play for a second. If I'm Joe Biden, I don't even know if he has this kind of oomph in him. But if he wanted to say, listen, Trump came in here. He tore down Obama's legacy in 2016. There's that video of Obama showing him around the White House. It was embarrassing. You guys ran Hillary Clinton, lost. You tried to have Bernie Sanders come in, lost. I show up, freaking Joe Biden, I win. Now, again, he's a little delusional here. This is role playing here. So Michelle Obama's she's never been elected for anything in her life. She's never been elected dog catcher. All of a sudden, she's just going to manifest herself and become president of the United States.
Yes.
If there is
bro.
A plan, look at what's going on.
But like we're talking about this as if we're the other side of this conversation is not relevant to Trump, who did exactly that. Never been elected dog catcher, but won the presidency.
Biden just won New Hampshire. He won Nevada. He won South Carolina.
So
this plan, I think, will be unfold by Super Tuesday, which is in 25 days from now, March 5th. If he's still the candidate, at what point are we going to be like, all right, I think Joe Biden is actually running?
Well, by the way, you know what I believe that?
Yeah, it's a good point.
I believe that at the NC. So I will believe after August. August.
Yeah, I not until they make the announcement. And even after that, if they announce that Joe Biden is the nominee for the DNC, that still will not change the fact that it is very possible, and dare I say likely, that something happens to him physically. Not at all that I'm wishing this on him, but that something could happen and he's taken out of the race. So these conversations about somebody other than Biden are extremely, extrememely poignant. The left are not logical people. On Zig says Adam always gets troll games.
What?
Jay said, yeah, you can be the candidate and still get your ass handed to you in the election. Yep. Oh, he gets trolled. Shame. I mean, I think Vinny. They go harder on Vinny. They go harder on Vinny. Jay says, if Biden gets 6 or passes, what would they do? Well, that's that's exactly what this conversation is, because we were saying this before, that likely what's going to happen is the 25th Amendment will say that because they just did, they were just trying to charge him with whatever crime. I don't even know what it was because I don't care. And they said he's not mentally fit to stand trial or whatever it was. And so it's likely that they're setting this up to use the 25th Amendment to say that he's not mentally there so that Kamala becomes the president. Then the DNC says that, again, these are not like independent actors. These are not people who are just doing what they want to do because they want to do it. Like it's a system. And so even if he gets sick and passes, then Kamala becomes the president. That's what the vice president is for. And so at that point, she could again, because of the fact that now Biden has been incapacitated, the fact that they haven't had primaries, the fact that they haven't had goes out the window, because they need a nominee. And so I think to say that they would push Biden aside at this point to try to Michelle or Newsom or whatever is not going to happen, because again, they haven't had the primaries. They haven't gone through the proper channels to decide that. But if the motherfucker dies, they need a candidate. And so they will pick among who they want to pick. And I'm not convinced that they aren't just keeping him alive already. That without whatever drugs they're giving him on a daily basis, he would be dead already. So I think that is, that's what they're banking on. We just said the DNC wants Biden. He's easy to control. Now they're letting 22 million potential voters through the border. Bingo. Jay said, the first mixed female president who supports the alphabet community. I can see the headlines now. Yep. Context, so they were going to try and charge him over the classified documents in his garage. Okay, when does it and yeah, we got you. Jay said, why is Kamala on the list but is the VP when Obama isn't? Seems fishy, like you mentioned before. Yeah, right. We just said not mentally fit to stand trial, and he's the president. That was the nomenclature, right? That's what they said, not mentally fit to stand trial. I didn't want to say that specifically because I thought maybe there was some, other thing. But just like in any other trial where like you're too retarded to understand what's going on here, that's what they said. Yeah. And that's not the surprising part. The surprising part is that he's still running for fucking president. I mean, granted, we are talking about a man who may theoretically be behind bars and be the president. But I was going to try to make a joke about the bars in his head and his mind, and I don't know. But interesting times we live in.
Good point.
I believe that at DNC. So I will believe after
What's
August. August, yeah. I will believe then that you're right. But I'm just telling you, the answer to the question starts with, how concerned do you think the left is?
100%.
Then if that's how concerned they are, they're not going to take an L to say, let's just take this L this year and go get our draft picks and let's kind of rebuild, like, what is that one motto, the 76ers have?
Okay, guys, I'm trying to decide. This is a very, very important real life thing. If you plan, because I'm out of alcohol, but we're almost done here, and we're headed to the after party. So if we're going to have an after party and we're going to rage, I want to open another drink. But if we're not, then I don't want to have an open drink and then it's going to lose its carbonation and everything, and I'm not going to drink it until another couple days. Are you going to the after party? Yes or no? Let me know in the chat.
Trust the process or whatever it was. Oh, we're going to just trust the process. No. If you believe this is it, because Trump's not going to run 2028. Say Trump loses this year, you think he's going to run 2028? No, he's out.
He's done.
But
you never know.
But the point is,
with that animal, you never know.
Yeah, exactly. I would not rule anything out of Trump.
If you think he's that formidable, and no one's ever won with their approval rating being in the 30s, that includes Biden, that includes Carter, that includes a bunch of guys that were in the 30s that never got reelected. that you cannot sacrifice a election to give it up to Trump. You have to go to your bench, and you have a good bench with 2 players.
There we go.
2 players you got.
Those are good players.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, the weirdest part of the Biden classified documents scandal is he wasn't so old when he took the documents. What? What
you're saying is completely normal. It is not far-fetched at all.
No.
This is the Henry Kissinger doctrine, basically. Stop being like you have to think as a pragmatist in reality, not wishful thinking. The pragmatic point of view would be like, he's running. He's announced his candidacy. He's the incumbent of the president of the United States. He's running. The train has left the station. They're acknowledging how fucking bad the poll numbers are.
He's 80 years old.
Did you see my whole? Do you have that video of Biden? Mike, just like a comedian. It's to the point where I feel bad. I'm not even trying to talk shit.
It ain't a good look for the. Also, it's not a good look for the country or the presidency.
And he's talking about Hamas here, right? Is this the one, Rob? Can we show this?
I haven't seen.
Look at how.
It's yesterday, right?
He forgot about Hamas.
Just even that still. Just even this still. Like you can feel the pain of being alive. That's what I think when I see this. Just being alive feels like that.
Hamas's name was. Look at this.
There is some movement, and I don't want to.
Some other piece. Piece.
Well, maybe choose my words.
Watch this.
There's some movement. There's been a response from the.
Somebody has to yell it out. Look.
There's been a response from the opposition, but yes, I'm
somebody
sorry.
yelled Hamas.
Yeah. Like, how is this not elder abuse?
Position, but yes, I'm
somebody
sorry.
yelled Hamas.
From Hamas.
Probably Blinken.
But it seems to be
Dude,
a little over the top.
No, listen, these guys.
that's sad. That's sad.
Before we get into it, so last time on Tuesday, we announced anybody that buys the.
All right, so there we go, guys. I mean, there is hope. There is hope. There is hope for this country. We can create something that has the ability to move us a little bit further back. There is the desire to go back to an America where people were equal, where people were, where we didn't worry about equity, and we worried about just, are you one of us? Do you care about our country? Do you want to be a good person? And that's it. It doesn't matter if you have this political position or that political position, or if you have a vagina, if you don't have none of that shit used to matter. And it was great. And now all that shit matters, and it sucks. I hate to oversimplify, but do we need to do any more math? Let's go back to a life where everybody was a lot happier, because this shit sucks. And shout out to Michael Rapaport. You know, it's definitely difficult to publicly go out there and be like, I was wrong. I thought a thing, and I was very wrong. But, you know, he did it. And I want to appreciate that, acknowledge that I appreciate that. And I hope that more people have the courage to go out there and say that, because we know for a fact that there's a lot of people who this applies to, and they're just afraid. So thank you so much for hanging out with me, guys. Let's see. Oh wait, yeah, we got to pick a comment of the night. So it was between Guamtech, New York, where you can say you're actually happy to New York, where you can say you're actually happy to just be getting arrested. Or when we're talking about being short, Zippy said, don't let your disability rule you. Well, you guys, so put Zippy or Guamtech in the chat to choose the comment of the night while we shout out all the people who donated. Shout out to Guam, to Bon, Zig, thank you. Starting it off. And then we had Guamtech doing the damn thing. We had indie film. Thank you so much, indie film. And then, of course, Soil the Soul doing her thing over on the Cash app, not letting YouTube take a dime. We had Guantanamo one more time. Oh, man. Oh, my God. JL dropped a little something. Thank you so much. And, of course, our sponsor of the stream, out-sponsored himself. Thank you. So very, very, very much, guys. You know how much I appreciate that. We got one vote for Guamtech. Anybody else got a vote for comment of the night? We got New York, where you can say you're actually happy to just be getting arrested, or don't let your disability rule you. I kind of like, I mean, I don't know. This is kind of a good one. The callback too, I think we're going to go with Guamtech. Guamtech, comment of the night, sponsor of the stream. There it is. There's the vote. Thank you guys so much. Those of you who are having extracurricular activities right now, you go and enjoy yourselves. Everybody else, I am already in the after party. Go into the after party. You don't have to wait. If you are a member of the channel, it is just click it. If you are not, then let me drop the link here. You can join. It starts at only $2.99 a month, and you get access 24/7. Even if you don't want to be a paying member, you can still join, and it is free to join. But you just get access to our free chat channel as well as our current events channel. A lot going on there. But again, if you want the full shebang, become a member. Thank you again, guys. Thank you so much. Once again, this is Morty, and I have been your host, Lutch, aka the Indian Jesus, here to resurrect the second coming of common sense. Until next time, guys, I am out of here. Peace. Every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Peace.